Alright, that's enough of that. Hello everybody. Welcome to Referendum Talk episode 59. Wow. We're 10 away from the magic number.
Hello, and we're here.
Okay, I actually do need to adjust your volume. Hold on. Like, I was doing an art stream and everybody was complaining that the music was really quiet and then I was really quiet, so I've had to fuck around with my settings.
Alright.
Anyway.
Hey, don't mind. Don't mind me. I am just doing something. Hopefully my connection is stellar, because I have better internet now.
You definitely sound different.
Awesome. Let's see how long this fucking lasts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing something on this end to be sure this works. So just... wrong thing. Well, I've broken everything. Awesome.
Well done.
Yes.
Magic number. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, shit. Yeah, I've broken everything on this end. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What have I done?
But yeah,
What have I done?
We didn't have a podcast last week because Thor decided to ruin Rev's life specifically.
Yes. I mean, everything's getting set up. I'm getting ready. I shut off the computer for like 5 minutes, so everything resets itself and nothing breaks. And look at that, storm's out of fucking nowhere.
Welcome to Florida.
Yes.
By the way, my mom and my brother are going to Florida in October.
Oh, okay.
They're not going there for the resort. They're going there because the trivia thing they have at the local bar is going to Florida for a big event. It's bar trivia. That's the only reason they're going.
Oh, okay.
My mom's a drunkard. Anyway.
Oh dear, what am I doing?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I'm trying to access a few things. I see what happened. This thing went in whatchamacallit, in, oh my God, what's the word? Uh, Alphabetical order. That's why I was like, what, where is it? It's like, oh, let's see here. Checking that. A cup of joe. And it's funny. That
Yeah.
was the thing, wasn't it? Like in the game.
Yeah, it was SCP.
Like if you actually what's the word? Oh God, if you actually typed in Joe, it would like liquidate some guy called Joe, I think.
Ugh.
I think that was the case. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, yeah, welcome everyone to Left for Random Talk. Uh, yeah, episode 59. So I apologize again for the sudden disappearance last Thursday. I can't control the weather. If I could, I would make everything snow.
Oh, you wouldn't actually want that.
I would, because I actually like snow.
Oh, I'll tell her you said that.
Anyway, so we've got about, let's see, one, two, three, four. So five things and the monthlies this week.
Yeah.
So starting off with the list, we have the DevStream 130 overview, a rather short one this time round.
Hopefully.
Uh, well,
Hopefully.
it was a short dev stream, so you know.
I still need to watch it because I came in right when they were finishing up Grendel's stuff.
All right. Apex Legends Iron event goes predatory, charging people $200 for a fucking axe, an extra 160 for the rest of the cosmetics. There is an update to that. It's gotten worse.
Oh no.
Loot Crate goes bankrupt. The end of the Geek Box and the possible end of Disney Star Wars comics selling well. We'll get into more on that in a second. Talking about Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, what we expect of the show, and our hopes.
Oops, I should have muted YouTube itself. Oops.
Ooh. And lastly, this is kind of an open discussion, and that is, can lolcows be redeemed?
I
And go on.
I'm still confused about that.
I'll explain once we get there. So
Yeah.
let's get into the dev stream. I'm going to open the overview on my phone because for some reason or another, my computer hates when I open the dev stream overview anywhere else. So the dev stream was what, about 3 days ago, give or take?
It was Thursday.
Oh wait, hold on before I forget. Did we also talk about dog days at all?
I don't remember. No.
Okay, so we'll bundle that in as well since it kind of covered it. You know what? We'll talk about that now. So a little while ago, about 2 weeks ago actually, Warframe had an event called Dog Days, kind of a summer event, in which it basically embraced its anime roots and gave us the beach episode. That's in every popular anime ever. There is always that one beach episode.
There's also the Hot Springs episode.
Oh yeah, but typically it depends. I guess it depends. Excuse me, on the genre of the anime and what they tend to go for. You know, if it's a more serious anime, they'll go with the hot spring thing. If it's a less serious, more adventurous kind of thing, they'll go with the beach episode because why not? But yeah, Warframe embraced its beach episode roots and gave us Dog Days. So, what did we think about it? Let's get into that.
I'll admit, it was a lot of fun. I just do wish that the hitboxes were better.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were complaining about as well.
Yeah, like, I didn't mind the fact that you had to pump the gun to actually keep a good, solid stream going. Because if you don't pump, it starts to, like, dip, and you're not going to hit your enemies even if they're right in front of you. Which is similar to real life, because you have to do that with the super soakers.
Yeah, it's all pressure based.
Yeah. that speedy bastard. Oh my god. Like, apparently, there's a roster of executioners, and it's
Mhm.
randomized which ones you get whenever you load in. And if you get the speedy guy, you're fucked. Unless, oh god, Goguma Gaming actually kind of broke it. I don't remember the name of the mods, but he put a bunch of mods on Wisp that allowed her to aim glide, and if she hit somebody just a little and then landed, that person would suddenly fall asleep. And that's what he kept using on the speedy guy. And
Impressive.
it helped him out a lot for the higher level missions when he was all alone.
Yeah. For me, Dog Days was a fun distraction. I had a ball, really. It was something I wasn't expecting, and at the same time I was like, you know what, this is fun. I enjoyed um, going around the place in this very small but also very open-ended map.
Very detailed too.
Yeah, I loved running around, just playing. It was weird not having powers.
Yeah, like not having your shields or your amazing armor and amazing health if you're
Yeah,
Naras.
you become incredibly squishy
Yeah, but it's a fun squishy because you do regen.
very quickly
Mm-hmm.
and respawn even faster.
Yeah. Uh, I liked the music a lot.
Yeah,
Like
it felt like. Go ahead.
it it reminded me of like the old PS2 game era where every game had to have a tropical level, and the tropical levels always had these really nice background music, like background songs that kind of get stuck in your head, but not in a bad way.
Yes. This music reminded me more about like something out of Jack and Daxter.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, it had that same rhythm, and I was more like, "This is nice." And for me, it reminded me of home, like no one's business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
For me,
Uh,
it just reminded me of playing like the PS2 when I was a kid.
well, for me, what I really enjoyed about Dog Days, again, is the affirmation, like how not serious this entire event was.
Yeah.
How everyone was like, you know what, fuck it, let's all go to the beach. Why not?
I like the fake commercial they had where it shows you're actually killing these guys. It was like childhood fun. Yay!
Yeah.
People dissolve. Yay!
Yes. Actually, I noticed that they kind of removed that effect during the game, or sorry, during the oh god,
During the
during
gameplay.
yeah, during the gameplay in the event. I was like, oh, okay, so they did that just for the they did that just for the
Commercial.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this is
like
fun.
that apparently Kayla Thame was not actually drunk. She was high off her ass with the gas leak.
Yes,
I
the
love
whole
I
time.
love that. Like I love it when characters we've been around for so long break character. Like
Yes.
Kayla Thame is a very hardcore sounding and acting character. She's a military character, and yet here she is loopy as hell wanting a drink with a little pink umbrella.
The other funny the way I put it is this: it's like um, imagine if Undyne from Undertale just got high off of her face.
I would be terrified.
It's the same thing. That's basically what it is. It's just Undyne just embracing the insanity.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
I like seeing things like that. I wish they would do that more with other characters.
Vahek just having an off day.
Ugh, I do not want to imagine Vahek on the beach.
It won't even be anything horrible. It's just gonna be his drone body with the inner tube. That's it.
He's gonna go to the beach and he's gonna immediately turn into a roasted turkey.
Yeah. Or just drown in 2 feet of water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently, here's the funny thing. The gun we get in Dog Days actually has a name.
Yeah.
It's it's called the Soaktron.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I and I love the fact that it's colored like a fucking Nerf gun too. Like
Yes.
they knew what they were doing when they were doing Dog Days. It's like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's take the piss out of everything. And I'm tempted to like I'm wondering if DE's gonna like reach out to Nerf or whatever and say, can you guys make this an actual thing?
You know that cosplayers are gonna do that.
Oh, I know. It's just I would love an official Warframe Super Soaker gun. I mean,
Yes.
they've already got the what's the word? They've already got the they already have a realistic Moa in the office. I'm sure they could probably spring for this.
They also have her headpiece, Lotus's headpiece.
Yeah, that too. And a portrait.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And those are professional companies making those.
Yes. But overall, I love Dog Days. I loved how serious this was. It was a great, a great time was had by all. Personally, though, that said, um, getting the pearls, the Nakak pearls,
Ugh.
was a pain. That was the only thing I was kind of bothered by. I was like, please, no more.
Even after they adjusted it, it still just wasn't worth it. Because by the time they adjusted it, nobody was playing Dog Days anymore. Like they got what they wanted. And I'm still kicking myself because I bought the color palette when I should have bought the sigil or glyph, whatever, just one of the little emblems, just to show that I was there.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why I bought the map.
Oh Jesus,
Yeah,
dude!
yeah, that's one of the rewards, by the way, getting the map for Dog Days for the.
I thought it was one of the rewards was the relay.
No. Basically, Nakak will also sell the
Well, yeah,
Captura
but
seed.
like one of the rewards in the list is the relay.
Oh yeah, that too. It's just if you want the
Oh.
Dog Days Captura scene, you have to go to Nakak.
Well, at least we know that it's going to come back next year.
Yeah, by the way, it was a pain to get, specifically because it costs like 1,000 pearls to get that, and you
I'm just
only
hoping
get
they don't fuck us over and remove the pearls now that Dog Days is over.
probably not. Again, they don't remove floofs to begin with, so.
Mm.
But no, like I said, getting it was a pain because, like I said, it cost like 1,000 pearls, and oh my god, just grinding for that was like it was not fun.
It was worse. Like for me, I had to do like another mission or two again because I was only a little bit off from getting the symbol. And I grinded and grinded, and I went back to Nakak. I was off by 3, and it was already too late.
Mm. Well, plus side, if we ever decide to do something funny for the summer again, we have the map.
I liked the
We
inner
can do something.
tubes.
Yes. A pity you can't like that would have been a fun option to have if you have the map. Like you can actually give them inner tubes or remove them. That would have
Yeah.
been fun.
But
Let's see.
the plus side about like the Dog Days thing is that now I have an excuse to draw warframes in bikinis.
That's the only thing you desire.
Rhino in a speedo. It's not going to fit.
The speedo's just like tied around the groin piece.
Like
That's
he's not even wearing the speedo entirely. It's only there for the codpiece alone. It's like a sock. But even that's not
Exactly.
enough. Welcome to
Yeah, so
Warframe, where one of our frames has a giant ass dick for all to
yes.
see. And guess
Yes.
what? There's a lady with an even bigger one.
Also true.
But it's very pointy, so you have to be careful.
But overall, like I said, the Dog Days event was fun. It was nice to see this other side of Kayla. And for a moment, I was like, can we make her a good person, actually? I had that, like I said, I had an Undertale moment of, can we not make her good?
Probably not.
Yeah, obviously. But still, it was fun to go through. Overall, I should say.
Like
And
it was still very much you running and gunning, but it's with a squirt gun, and there's still grinding, and it's annoying as hell. But all in all, you're in a water fight with a bunch of enemies, and there's really
yes,
no penalty to dying.
yeah, like I said, it's one giant fun day in the sun, and I'm hoping that DE just kind of embraces more, what's it called? More anime things
Yeah.
for the fuck of it.
Uh,
Oh my, hold on, I found something. Keep going.
so fun fact, like I loved the
Hmm.
dog days, probably even more than a lot of other people. Our little cul-de-sac used to have this summer event where we would have a neighborhood-wide water fight.
Oh, cool.
I won every year because nobody
Nice.
thought to add the rule you are not allowed to use the water hose with a hose attachment. So
Ah,
I would stand in my yard with a garden hose and the gun attachment to the water hose and spray everybody down.
oh, that's so funny.
Oh, where is stop
Ah,
capturing that? No.
that's fine. Let's see what else. Yeah, I'm just like I said. I'm hoping that DE embraces more anime scenes for the game because we've already got the beach episode. We might as well get a hot spring in
That's gonna be
Cetus.
very concerning.
Oh, come on! You don't tell me you wouldn't expect to see that in Cetus.
I actually wouldn't be surprised. Like,
Exactly.
maybe they do something with that area that's on fire.
Mm,
Or, actually, it would make a lot more sense if it was, Venus. With all those thermia fractures.
yeah, that could work. I could see a Solaris or Corpus operation out there in the frozen plains, basically. Just say, hey, if you want, what is it? Uh, oh God, I'm blanking now.
If
If
you
you
want to
want
stay
warm from
warm,
cold,
then just pay us a whole bunch of credits.
yeah, and here you go, an entire hot spring for you and your friends
But
to
knowing
enjoy.
Neff, he's gonna charge you by the minute.
Yeah, but that's why I'm hoping it's like a Solaris run thing, because at least they'll give us a better deal.
Yeah.
Still, overall, if they do add in the sorry, if they do add in a hot springs thing, I wonder like what is that gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be a clan specific thing?
Hmm.
Come on, admit it. That's typically what happens with these hot spring things. Is usually the group gets called in to relax. They leave all the major equipment or whatever, and they just chill out. And in some cases, have to fight something that's inside the hot spring. But
There's the boys and girls. And, like, the boy side has a step ladder.
voice side. No, God forbid, it's like the bathhouse episode from Gurren Lagann.
Oh, God. I think I remember the. I know what you're talking about, too.
And he's off like a rocket.
Just above the shoulders. And then, like, the inspirational speech for no freaking reason.
Yes.
Why?
That's like I said. That's Kamina to a T. Man can make anything inspiring, even boobs.
Yee.
Anyway, but yeah, enough of the silliness. Let's get into the actual thing. So,
Yeah, yeah. The new
so we've got-
Warframes.
yeah, so DevStream 130 came out. So the house.
Oh.
Yeah, get the Lotus. What?
You cut.
Oh.
The house what?
Yeah, housekeeping stuff as per
Okay.
usual, but that's already dealt with. So we'll jump right into Railjack. So they shut off the systems during TennoCon, but didn't some of the finer details warrant explaining. So we've got customization. You can research different weapons, thrusters, engines, etc. For your railjack via clan research. The ship you customize in the dry dock is your own, not shared with the clan. Interesting. So basically, if you wanted a hot pink mess, you could have it, and no one would argue with you. You know someone's gonna do that.
Never let me be the driver then.
All right. So basically, we've got. So I guess the dry dock will basically work like a parking lot for various different Imperiums. That's good. That said, we should not remove any of our clan research rooms since it seems to be important.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to have to demolish the obstacle course.
I already did.
Okay, good. So let's leave that node open. Let's see. Both interior and exterior colors are customized separately, so you can have the hot pink mess on the outside, but the inside won't be affected.
Woohoo!
All right. Your rails, sorry, your railjack system has slots for various powers and upgrades, some of which can be earned versus researched. New resources await. That's good. You will be able to hire/fire NPC crew members to join you on your railjack in addition to your squad. That's good.
Okay. Knowing like everybody's viewpoints on the NPCs in Warframe, a majority of them are going to be Solaris.
Oh, you don't.
Hi, Bill. Hire an architect. Yeah.
Hi, Bill. Yeah, that's probably going to be step 2, the architect.
Woohoo! Which would be
Yeah.
me.
Of course.
Yay.
But that said, though, that said, I wonder if the NPCs will be there when you're in solo. You know, taking over certain functions that your
Very
clan
likely.
members. Hey, that would make solo play very viable.
Well, I think the NPCs are mostly there to make sure that the ship is functioning while it's being shot. And, of course, to maybe assist you when people get on board.
Also possible. I wouldn't say no to that, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm still excited for it.
Upgrades. Here we go. Upgrade. The goal is to over provision the amount of modules you equip to your railjack, which will not be all active at once. The modules that are active are limited by your ship's power, which can be activated and deactivated mid-mission depending on your needs. Okay, that's useful. So you're not an overpowered death machine floating in space.
Yay.
Well, it would make sense to limit it that way.
Like, we're all going to make Star Wars jokes.
No, I don't doubt it. Especially with, like, just dumb shit in general. Here we go. Yeah, depending on mission conditions. Okay, so here we go. Mods will have a range of quality that is randomized on acquisition. Not like Rivens, instead they will have a set range of stats that are available. You can have a plus 3% repair speed, or get lucky and find one with a 4% repair speed. So it's kind of like the mods we have now, more or less. Different energy costs based on impact during... Okay, so basically, to activate a mods during a fight, depending on how much damage your ship takes, is how effective the module will be once you've activated. So it might be more beneficial to go invisible and then activate something else before going to the fight.
Yeah, that's usually what I do with Avara anyway.
Alright.
Like, when I go out into the plains, or when I do a sabotage mission on Jupiter just to fuck around with the mutant salad, I'll stay invisible for as long as I possibly can, and then fuck everybody's shit up. Just going loud and proud. Because my Avara is actually a lot tougher than she used to be.
Alright. Okay, here we go. So the other tidbits, things we'll need to know. You will need a lot of room to build your dry dock. Oh, that's concerning.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens when it gets released. So it's going to be a staggered release. Uh, yeah, staggered release of content. We previously mentioned hoping to ship dry dock first. For example, the Grenier faction will be coming first for you to fight. So basically, first will be the dry dock, then the Empyrean, then the enemies. All right.
Yay.
Next, we've got Grendel, and that
Woo!
is the fat frame.
Finally, we have a chunky warframe. I mean, I've said it before, but I'm so excited for there to finally be a representing chunky warframe. Hildren is actually a good size. Like she does have a stomach, but she's not fat. She's strong.
Yes. That said, we've shown Grendel before on the show, so there's no real need to
Hmm.
show him in full detail. So we'll just pick one of the images here and just kind of put it.
I'm gonna put the link to the overview in the description.
Okay.
There you go, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the I'm on the overview myself, and I'm seeing him like
Okay.
doing that new update for the Grenier, and
Yeah.
like
So
just all those ragdoll bodies bleh onto the ground.
let's cover that. So we'll get into that now. So as they say on DevStream 129, we learned about Gauss. Now it's turn. Now it's time to learn about his BFF Grendel. So they basically confirmed that Grendel and Gauss are friends.
Oh
That's cool.
yeah,
I like that. The fat no, sorry, the overly happy, I'm going to work out every day on my legs friend, and then your fat friend who just sits on the couch.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
All right. They won't be shipping together as expected, but they're still best buds. All right. So here we go. Ability. So his passive is the more enemies you eat, the more armor you have. That's good. So it's like Inaros's armor, I guess.
You think there's a potential that he'll maybe replace Inaros? Maybe.
I don't. I don't think so because Inaros can be made practically unkillable if you mod him right.
Yeah.
Grendel seems to be more focused on eating and then regurgitating that eaten stuff, basically.
Ugh.
So let's see. Ability one, feast. Swallow an enemy whole and store it in Grendel's guts. Not satisfied, keep eating, but beware each foe Grendel in Grendel's belly slowly consumes energy. All right, so that's how they balance it out.
Mm-hmm.
Any damage dealt to you is also dealt to your stomach buddies. So that's actually a pretty smart idea. So if you're having if you've got that one really spongy enemy you just don't want to deal with, you eat him, and you get everyone to shoot at you, and they'll just kill him for you.
Yeah.
That's a smart idea.
It's sort of like how with Hydroid, when he goes into puddle form, you can shoot into the puddle and it'll hurt the enemies. But it'll
Yeah,
increase the damage because they're in a puddle.
yeah, that's a good way of seeing it. Except the puddle is you.
Yeah. And you have a limited amount of energy. And if
Exactly.
you swallow, like if you slurp in say, a parasitic eczemus, your energy limit is decreasing.
Much faster than
Yeah.
expected.
Even though it's in the puddle, it's still going to take your energy away.
Yep. Next, we have Nourish. Consume the enemies in Grendel's guts and nourish nearby squad mates with a radial buff.
Mm-hmm.
These There are three buffs: an energy booster, a toxic AoE trigger upon taking damage, and an armor buff. Hmm. Interesting. So kind of spread the feast around, I suppose. Not bad. Ability 3, Regurgitate. This is horrible.
I
Vi-
saw the video, like, he's standing in front of all these Grenier enemies shooting at him, and then just this pile of rag dolls just bleh, just splatter on the ground. And then they slowly get up.
so here we go. Violently puke out a bile-soaked enemy from Grendel's gut, turning the unfortunate creature into a toxic projectile. It's even worse somehow.
So it's combining like Kirby to eat the enemies, a little bit of Hydroid where they take the damage, And the Spitter from Left 4 Dead, too.
Yes. Though, honestly, once Grendel comes out, everyone's going to just pink and play the Kirby music.
Yes, they're all gonna do that.
By the way, fun fact, Grendel is the first Warframe to have a unique skeleton.
Have a what?
A unique skeleton.
Oh.
He doesn't share an animation or body skeleton with the rest of the Warframes. He's the first with a unique skeleton setup.
Oh, nice.
And I think the original intention was to have Grendel's stomach, mouth open when he eats things, but I think they're having problems coding that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, personally,
Is...
like, when you said that, my immediate thought is, oh, is he gonna be like Nightmare from Soul Calibur, where he has no stomach? like that mouth opens up and he spins 360 and lands back on his legs.
That would have been interesting. Actually, now that I think about it, they could have just used Corrupted Vader's body type, for this.
Maybe, yeah.
Because, he's split in half too, so
So people are either going to color this guy as Kirby or a pumpkin.
One or the other. It's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm going to go with pumpkin, because I prefer pumpkins. I couldn't get into Kirby when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm never letting my kids play Kirby, because the shit in that game it's no. No, you're not playing that.
Like, you would have to at least be a little lenient towards the one where he's made out of cotton, though. Maybe. Like, I couldn't get into Kirby. I find him adorable. I've even watched the show a little bit. The Kirby skin.
That's going to be the case.
Yeah. But, like, I couldn't get into it.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I got into Halloween a lot easier than fucking Kirby, and I'm terrified of a lot of things. Anyway, fourth ability?
Right, Meatball.
Yay.
It's literally called Meatball.
Yay!
And it is engorged from feeding. Grendel curls into a ball and rolls over anything in his path, flattening enemies and are consumed, causing Grendel to grow even larger. The more foes in your belly, the bigger you get. Don't let your energy run out while in Meatball, or you will suffer a penalty.
It's Katamari Damacy. Yay!
I was thinking more of Sonic.
Oh no,
it's basically what you are.
It's more Katamari Damacy. Because the ball gets bigger the more you roll it around.
Actually, DE kind of joked about this, and the idea was the more Grendel eats, the larger he becomes. Like, not even in Meatball, but just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, obviously, we're going to have to, like, cap that. We don't want him getting stuck in the doorways. And then someone mentioned, or fight the Eidolons. I wish they wouldn't cap it, just so people can, like, just for shits and giggles, have a kaiju fight in the plates. What can save us? Go ahead.
Like, Grendel's design is based off of an ogre, like an oni, an ogre, or something like that. Those guys are big as hell. There's been a lot of animes where they're kaiju size sometimes.
On occasion, yeah.
It would be less like kaiju fight and more another reference to another anime. I'm thinking Yu Yu Hakusho. Shu, whatever.
Yeah. Everyone knows where Grendel comes from.
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
they're combining the name Grendel, an ogre from the story of Beowulf, with an Oni, the ogre from Asian mythology, and I love it.
Yeah, again, it's... But that said, like, I've seen my fair share of Oni in general media, and again, like, their interpretations have always varied depending on where they're from. But again, I don't mind it too much. Still, it's gonna be interesting to see where all this goes. It's gonna be fun. Though, to go back to that whole kaiju fight, it's like, You see the Eidolon immediately. It's like, oh no, who can save us? Heavy footsteps. You think Godzilla? No, it's just this fat bastard who's grown to the size of a house.
Personally, my thought is the Eidolon, like any of the three Eidolons are marching towards the Tenno. Suddenly, a giant meatball rolls into view and crashes into it. And we suddenly see a screen that says "Strike,"
Jeez.
and then a score for bowling.
All right, let's get into the next bit. Gauss's updates.
Woohoo!
Mainline update at the end of August. So keep an eye out for him. He should be coming out soon.
Yay.
And Gauss has some new weapons, actually. So I'm going to see if I can find them real quick.
We have the name, at least.
Hmm?
We
Oh
have the
yeah,
name
I'm just trying to find what they look like. Again, for visual sake for the people watching, but hasn't been shown yet. Damn it. All right, so we'll just have to keep going. First off, we have the Accelerator, which is the primary. When sprinting, your reload speed increases. It's basically like a energy SMG,
Yeah.
and based on what we saw with like Rebecca shooting it against the Grenier, it looks like it's going to be a very powerful weapon. One of those you want to upgrade to hell and back.
I can only imagine how quickly the Phantasma is going to reload, because that thing was already fast before.
Yeah, I think that's a passive of his, but we'll have to see. Next is the
Keep going.
Next is the Aquarius, a dual pistol with explosive impact. Basically, I'm trying to remember what they look like, but they're basically like these dual pistol nuke launcher things, and they're incredibly slow, but they hit like a truck, from what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird, considering that we're talking about Gauss. He's fast boy. Why limit him like this? It doesn't make any sense, if you ask me. But yeah, that's that. Let's see what else I can find. Weapons. All right. What else is coming? The disruption update. We'll get into that in a second. The Schwann's emote. That one. You know, people are going to be using that just like they use interface. Oh God, it's in the back of my mind.
Like Wisp's little emotes, or what?
No. Musically, Octavia's stuff.
Oh all the dance emotes.
Yeah, basically you're playing a guitar with like actual keys on the computer.
Yeah.
You know, people are gonna be like doing ridiculous songs, like I don't know, the Doom theme. It's possible
think they're gonna
to do.
get that complex, but yeah.
We didn't think anyone could play Pumped Up Kicks.
Oh gods, yeah.
Someone did. So before you say, "Oh, they can't get that complex," look over there.
There's an entire professional band made up of Octavias. I forgot.
Yeah. So, if anything, I'm sure they will figure out how to use the Schwanns effectively.
Schwazen.
Schwazen.
Schwans.
I know.
I some schwans over there.
So
So pretty.
That's an interesting instrument. I pity you have to like, you have to pay for it or whatever.
I forget what the Chinese instrument is. It's really tall. I keep wanting to say it's like a cello or something, but it's the most iconic sound when it comes to like music in like China and Japan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's based off of that, a little bit of a ukulele as well, because it's not that tall. You just hold it like a guitar.
Yeah, it's a pretty small instrument to begin with.
Yeah, but you do sit on your knees to play it.
Yeah. Let's see. The Look and Link mod that's good.
Yeah.
Riven capacity increased to 120. I don't care about Rivens.
Yeah.
I really don't like those mods.
Easy money.
Yeah. Again, I might do that later today.
What?
Riven, sentient weapon rivens,
Oh
tongue
god.
twister, are coming back and will be obtainable via Samaris to not dilute the current riven pool. Oh boy. So here we go. Disruption mode expansion. Uh, the ever-crafty and profit-driven Alid V has sold off tech to others in the Sol system, and new disruption nodes will be appearing soon on a variety of planets.
I am curious to
I'm.
see how this will work with the Grenier. Because,
Oh,
like,
we'll get into that in a second.
well,
Because go ahead.
with the Corpus, there was that large explosive guy that comes after the,
Demolist.
yeah, the Demolist. He comes after the consoles. What's gonna come after the consoles for the Grenier then? Like, I know that the
Ghoul.
ghouls are being repurposed for it, but
It's a specific ghoul type. Basically, it's the fat ghoul, but his stomach is loaded with a high impact explosive.
ugh.
You can actually see the device attached to his stomach.
Ugh.
So yeah, let that sink in. Let's see here. So, I almost dropped my phone. Yeah. Tentatively, we have 5 different nodes planned, of varying difficulties and reward scaling. Here's what we shared on the dev stream. We are aware of reward concerns and are hoping to address this in its expansion. Kuva Fortress will have a node and will offer another way to earn Kuva. Lua will have a node with unique rewards. Ghouls have been repurposed for certain nodes in lieu of amalgam. Gauss acquisition will be tied to the disruption expansion to some degree. Okay, that's fine.
I'm hoping we will finally remove Lotus's constant emails of the ghouls. Like, it's just getting ridiculous. We're not getting alerts for the Thermia fractures, thank fucking Christ. But we're still getting constant reminders that they're back.
Yes. Well, it's going to be interesting. Like this thing just said, Alid V's selling his amalgam tech, basically. Well, not the amalgam, but the disruption tech to the Grenier, and they're already starting to make use of it with the ghouls. So it kind of shows you that they're very like distrustive of tech to begin with. Like they don't bring it out for their entire units.
Yeah.
Which again, I appreciate. It kind of shows that they understand this is still like early technology, to say the least.
Yeah.
I'm moving right along. Oh yeah, and Little Duck apparently is supposed to help you with this one, which again, it's welcome because, like I said, Little Duck has potential. She's a great spy.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is somewhat unrelated. If people are looking for memory fragments in the Orb Valis, there is a memory fragment in the cave for the Orican dig site. I forget if it's Business or Little Duck, but there's one in there. Just flat out saying that, because I was when I noticed that turbine thing out in the frozen wastes and nowhere near the dig site, I was looking for memory fragments. I found quite a few.
Jeez. Good. Right. Sorry, just checking something. So yeah, overall, the disruption is going to be the same thing as the previous version. It's just going to be with a different group and a different kind of tile set. But it also seems to be a bit more easier, given that I think one of the big complaints people had is that the amalgam demolists were too hard to find, and these maps are a bit more open, so you can find them more easily.
Plus, it was like sheer panic as soon as you started hearing the beeping, like, where the fuck is he? Where the fuck is he? And with the Corpus tile sets, they're complex. You could go left or right or forward and back, but you can also go up and down. And when you go up and down, it's really twisty.
Yeah, it's too easy for the it's too easy for the demolists to hide from sight and avoid. It's just too easy for them to do that. So yeah. Let's see here. What's next?
Oh God, that one tile set where you're in the hangar for the disruption is the worst. Because depending where, like, which side it goes on, you have zero chance of stopping the Demolist, even with Magnus Lockdown. Because he will spawn literally right there and take 6 steps, and he's already at the console.
Yes, and it's just so annoying. Like I said, I'm hoping DE improves upon these issues. Let's see. Not much else, just minor updates, but that's about it. Right, now onto the deluxe skins.
I actually already saved the images. I'm putting them into the slideshow.
Okay, good.
I've seen the Ivara deluxe skin.
I like the colors. It's a lot better than the original, like, orange and light blue.
I love the design. I love it.
The weapon is also very, very nice. I actually like.
And also we have, like, the Equinox deluxe skin.
Yeah, Equinox is. I don't know. This one seems a bit like. It's a messy design. It looks like they just kind of threw something together for one of the versions and said, fuck it.
It looks a little bit like something out of, what is it? Retro scientific chess or something?
Yeah, I can see it. I don't know. It's like the middle form, and the middle form looks like it had the most work put into it, where it looks the most cohesively designed.
I am saving my platinum for Ivara.
Okay, but then you got the one on the left and the right. They just kind of look like halfly put together, like not a lot of.
I like the legs on the one on the far left. I like.
Yeah, I can see it. It's cool, but everything else, like I said, just kind of looks like it was thrown together.
That's always my thing. That's always my thing, isn't it, for Warframes? Like, yeah, it's a beautiful design, but I like the feet.
Yeah, it's weird, but again, that's the thing about Warframes when you really these were people turned into bioorganic suits.
Yeah, I like to see just how much detail they went into it, like how much work they put into it. Because
especially
you can very easily skip, like, kind of go lazy when it comes to things like feet or hands. Just parts of the body that you don't normally see. They could go lazy as hell for that, but they don't. Every piece of these things have hard work put into it and a lot of detail. And I love it. I want this Ivara skin so bad, because it's the first Ivara skin that does not cost my soul.
Yes, and then you'll get the Prime version later. I'm sure there will be.
Oh, she's coming up soon. Not next, but soon.
Alright. Let's see what else is here. Alright, at the last bit we've got other tidbits. This regards to Nightwave. So, they are planning on expanding... hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry, I saw something. They are planning to expand Nightwave Series 2 a bit, because they have some fun things planned. Expect another intermission after it concludes. That's good. Melee 2.9, a lot of 9s. Have a little bit planned for the mainline update, but nothing to confirm right now. Wolf of 76 items will make an appearance in future. We are deciding the best way to make it available for those who missed the first series.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have something that will... a wolf beacon. I have one of those.
Oh, what part were you missing?
A lot. I'm missing a lot.
Oh, shit. I sold my last wolf sledgehead.
I don't think I needed that.
Yeah.
I'll look into what I need to build later, but if anything, I still have that beacon, so maybe I could call some friends and see if anyone else has beacons. We can try fighting the wolf that way. Again, he scales with levels, so we could do it real easy.
Yeah. Even if he scales with levels, he's still gonna be tough as hell.
Oh no, if you summon him on like a mission, low enemy level mission like Mars, he'll be slightly above the level, the enemy cap, so it's possible to beat him with even very weak weapons. Anyway, let's see. Modular Arcwing is still being worked on. Used to share yet. Kuva Lich system with Empyrean has no gameplay connection to the Kuva system. The Kuva is the lore behind their power. Okay, that's good. Shield increasing aura mod might be in the cards. Alright, and the infested dojo decorations.
Oh no.
AKA Nightmare Fuel.
AKA your bedroom.
Yes. I like it, actually. It's quite,
Actually, it would be my brother's bedroom.
I like it. I like the idea of infested decoration stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, the dojos would work extremely well for, like, machinima stuff, too.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, and using this infested decorations, you could easily make, like, an infested map for it.
You
Again,
could also make like a xenomorph hive if you're clever.
Yeah, I'm just more surprised that someone like Omnivoice hasn't decided to try this yet.
Probably because it takes a lot of resources and a lot of work.
True. A pity there's no creative mode.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh. Yeah. So yeah, that's everything about DevStream this time round.
Yeah.
An hour. Good.
Well, almost an hour.
Roughly. So now we get into the shit that is kind of gets our blood boiling as per usual, and we're talking about Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. So the Iron Crown event is what it's called. It's one of Apex Legends' latest things to draw players in, basically. It's this big, roughly 2-week game event, roughly. And so you would think, oh, it's going to be like Warframe, where you can play certain games and earn rewards, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Everything you could possibly get in this game is behind loot boxes.
Ugh.
Loot boxes specific to this event. So it isn't like a randomized thing in your current ones. So you would think, oh, okay, so you play the game and you earn these loot boxes instead, right? No. You're being forced to pay for this, flat out. And this is where the big thing comes in. All of these items are time limited. All of these things are gated behind the loot boxes and this time limited event. And all these boxes cost $18 each. No, I did not stutter. You heard me right. $18 per loot box for this event.
Oh, dear Lord. Why?
Because they can. So, someone did the math, and specifically there is, let's see here, for this entire event, there are 24 legendaries. These are weapons, armor skins, weapon skins, armor skins, weapons, and general thing, right? There are 24 of those, all behind these Iron Crown specific loot boxes. So crunch the numbers there for a second. So in fact, let me get the calculator out. Just because I need to do this. So you've got 24 items times $18 each. That rounds up to roughly $432.
Dear gods, what?
This is a rough estimation, mind you. It could be less, it could be more. It turns out that in order to do all this, too, by the way, this is all leading up specifically to unlock something. So you're getting all these cosmetics because you want to look, but also because it unlocks the opportunity to buy another cosmetic item. So I'm just going to show you this right now because it defies belief. That's it. That's what you're going after.
$18 for one thing that you randomly generate from the loot box?
Yes. It's It's an axe. It is a fucking axe.
Thank you for the update, Zombie Warrior.
But
Zombie Warrior came up in chat and all he said is, "I'm pooping." That's all he said. That's all.
again, this is the brilliance of new technology. People can take us anywhere. Unfortunately, this also means they can take us.
Like, remember when we used to be in calls with Koozie and he would take us into the bathroom with him?
Yes.
Well, still in call. I'm glad he doesn't do that anymore.
So yeah. So 24 loot boxes to buy an axe.
To be
You
fair,
heard me right.
Unturned has loot boxes like this. But they're 100% optional because you have the chance of getting whatever cosmetic you randomly get from the box naturally. Buying loot boxes is mostly just donating money to the people that make the maps, because the creator of the game is making a more improved version of the game. But like that, that over there is fine because they're not hounding you to buy them. They're just giving you an option to buy them. It's up to you, and also they're not $18. They're like $1, if not less.
Well, here's the thing. They're doing this on purpose because this is a timed event. They're this shit now, so that encourages people to lose their minds, spend more money now, so that way they get the chance. It's a scummy thing, specifically to entice people. This was the one thing they shouldn't have done, because let's face it, Apex Legends has been dwindling in popularity for a good while now. Mm-hmm. Its players have gone from like 5 million to roughly the general thousands range, give or take. And that's saying something. Compare this to something like Warframe, where they have a similar kind of like things are on a limited time thing. But you're not paying $18 fucking dollars, literally playing the game to unlock it. You're being incentivized to play. This is incentivized to pay. This is bullshit. And people are rightfully calling it out. This is why games like Fortnite, Warframe are still on top, and people love them. Because they're fun to play, and the creators are not nickeling and diming everyone out of their fucking money.
Yep.
This right here, this Iron Crown event is what's going to kill Legend, because people are losing their minds. And I'm not saying like posting little rants on Twitter or something. No, I mean they're flat out just stop playing the game. They're putting an air horn onto everything.
Yep.
And it's like bullshit websites like Polygon are trying to sugarcoat it. They're trying to sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's not that bad. While other places are like, no, it's fucking atrocious. And it's just, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
They even, if I can find Young Yaz, I'm gonna go look for Young Yaz video, because he covered this in great detail. I'm just looking for this specifically to find that bit of information in regards to how Respawn responded to this.
Yeah, so a lot of, like, a majority of stuff for Unturned's loot boxes is like 99 cents. And I will admit, this, like, Unturned is the first game I have ever actually spent money on a box. Or just an item from them. And I'll be honest, it was actually very much worth it, because I look like a vampire hunter now, with a little spider on my shoulder. And he's adorable. And as dumb as it is, he does keep me company. Because this game is crazy.
Here we are. Okay. So this is what Epic, or sorry, not Epic. This is what Respawn said in regards to everything. This is, by the way, I'm just going to send this to you so we can link it as our source for this, by the way.
Okay.
Because again, this guy does great work. So, you know, here we are. It says the following. Hey everyone, At launch, we made a promise to players that we intended to do monetization in a way that felt fair and provided a choice to players on how they spend their money and time. A core decision during the development of Apex Legends was that we wanted to make a world-class battle royale game a quality depth, progression, and important for today's conversation, how we sell stuff. With the Iron Crown event, we missed the mark. We missed the mark when we broke our promise by making Apex packs the only way to get the what many consider to be the coolest skins we've ever released. Bullshit on that behalf. We've heard you, and we have spent a lot of time this weekend discussing the feedback. The feedback and how we structure events in the future, as well as changes that we will make to Iron Crown. To get right into it, here are the changes we are making. Starting on the 20th of this month, we will be adding and rotating all 12 of the event-exclusive legendary items into the store over the course of the final week of the event for the regular legendary skin cost of 1,800 Apex coins. You will still be able to purchase the Iron Crown packs for 700 Apex coins if you choose. The score schedules for the week will be as followed. Please note that they're not saying, oh, we're going to extend the time of the event, or we're going to change it now, basically. No, it's basically, we're still going to keep it like this, but we're going to put this at the last possible second so idiots will still buy from us, and we won't lose any money. So that's the first thing we should note about this. It goes on to say the following. For future collection events, we will provide more ways to obtain items than just buying Apex packs. A couple of other things I would like to address. We need to be better at letting our players know what to expect from the various event structures in Apex Legends. Over the last 6 months, we've been learning a lot about our operating a live service, free-to-pay game, and one of the takeaways from this week, beyond what we mentioned above, is that our messaging for expectations needs to be clearer. This is a different event structure than the Legendary Hunt from Season 1, and will be different from planned future upcoming events. We've learned more each day what works, what doesn't, and how to provide the best possible experience and content content to all of you. With Apex Legends, it is important to us that we don't sell a competitive advantage. Our goal has not been to squeeze every last dime out of your players. Bullshit. I'm sorry. Bullshit.
Yeah,
right there.
I was going to say, the longer and longer that went, the more and more it felt like a puppet with a hand up its ass.
Yes, this is bullshit, and you know it. You got caught, and you're not sorry because you did it. You're sorry you got caught. Don't feed me this line of bullshit that says, oh, we should have been more clear with our players. No, if you were more clear with your players, they would have told you, no, we're not doing this, flat out. You had to trick and deceive people just so they would fall to your little greedy trap, you fucks. I am not reading any more of this. This is PR bullshit, and we all know it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what pisses me off. This is why whenever someone says, oh, all free-to-play games are scummy and terrible and so on and so forth, this is the bullshit that they point to. This is the crap that they say. And this is why I will continue to put Warframe on the pedestal I do, because Warframe doesn't do this to us. Warframe doesn't hide its shit behind scummy practices.
For me, I will put Warframe and Unturn up there.
It's earned their players' respect, and people give them money because they know the product's good. Mm-hmm. They trust DE, and that trust has given them more than you can possibly imagine. They run successful cons. They have, I think, 1 million players at this point, or 1 million confirmed registered players in their game. The company is doing well. The people are happy, and they're staying afloat. This is the bullshit. This is what you want to be when you go free to play. You want to have your fans trust you. This shit is EA spin to the nth degree, and I am sick of it. Before, I was willing to say, oh, Apex Legends isn't that bad. Oh, Apex Legends is interesting. It has cool characters. Well, after this, fuck that. I am never playing this game. I am never giving this the time of day ever again. The only thing I'm ever going to take from Apex Legends is the fucking models for Gmod to make better shit, and that's it. This game is dead to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, I'm angry. This is the fucking kind of rant I have missed.
Yeah. Hey, at least with some good news, loot crates are going bankrupt.
We'll get into that in a second, but before, I want to start this giving them the benefit of the doubt, trying to be nice. No, fuck that. This is bullshit. This is shit. Respawn, you once had my respect because you made Titanfall 2. You showed promise. Well, now, fuck you. I'm done.
Yeah.
You are no better than a puppet of EA.
It's like when you go to a family gathering and you have that one cousin or that one relative who's a piece of shit, but like they're younger than you, and everybody makes you the bad guy up until you just get fed up.
Exactly.
I am
like
looking
I said,
at you, bro.
This game, like I said, deserves to get pirated.
Yeah.
Flat out.
We need some hackers to get into this game and just steal all that loot and give to other people. Or something.
Exactly.
Just like hack into the game, break their game, and like just do it continuously.
Do the what's it called? Do the Fallout 76 thing. Find the dev room, steal all the items, give to people who deserve it. Yeah. Do that.
Just destroy the game.
I don't normally advocate for this, but this is one of the few instances where I'm like,
yeah.
This shit.
I mean, we advocated it for Fallout 76 as well.
Yes. But at least with there we could joke and say, it's Bethesda. This deserves everything it gets and then some. In fact, I want EA's greed to kill this game, just so people are just thrown out from this game. I want EA to kill it. Because we know it's gonna do that.
Yeah. But they still made Titanfall. Titanfall 2.
To me, the studio is dead. The people who made that game are gone.
Enjoy Titanfall 2 at the very least. But
yes.
If they come up with another game, don't touch it. Give it space.
Exactly.
Don't touch it. You can poke it with a stick, but don't touch it.
Like I said, just Apex Legends, you can burn in a fire. I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rage over.
For now.
Let's get into something else, and that is Loot Crate.
Woohoo.
So, do you know what Loot Crate is?
Vaguely, yeah. Oh wait, no, I do know what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a service that will mail a box of pop culture goodies to your address once a month, and it's got really cool stuff. It's got T-shirts, it's got little baubles, little figurines, and also little puzzles. Critical Role, the D&D stream that I used to be, I'm still into, but I've kind of fallen short. A majority of their episodes have been sponsored by Loot Crate, and they do a great job.
Well, this is what we need to talk about. Has been struggling for the past few months, for a while now. So.
Oh no.
And that has been, basically the company has been neglecting certain people. They have not been fulfilling orders, people have been canceling their subscriptions. Apparently, from what I can tell, from the general information that's come out, the company was basically, they were just shipping out things haphazardly, and it wound up being like things would come in broken and things of that nature. People would ask for replacements and they wouldn't give them back. Just things of that nature, basically.
Yeah.
And for example, like there are multiple instances on the help exchange and everything that says items are broken or damaged or missing. Loot Crate has been just neglecting them, unfortunately, and would oftentimes just, like I said, they wouldn't send things on time or almost entire years without thinking through, apparently. Well, unfortunately, that's all finally started. The company is officially declaring bankruptcy.
Well, at least they had a good run for a short time.
Well, according to an article here on gifs, it says the following. Loot Crate files bankruptcy and lays off workers, but promises to ship remaining boxes.
Oh boy.
Let's see. I don't know what to think about that, but basically, uh, yeah, in a press release overnight, Loot Crate announced plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, reporting of financial troubles have been circulating for a while, including defaulting on a 21 million loan in 2017. Even though Loot Crate has about uh, 205,000 subscribers. The plan is to try and sell the company with one of its investors, Money Chest, who will set the initial auction bid, following a 10 million bankruptcy loan to keep operations afloat in the internet. The bankruptcy filing and overall financial woes have devastated the company's workforce last month. Loot Crate closed its warehouse and laid off 150 workers, announcing plans to outsource to a third party's logistics company. Additionally, 50 employees were laid off last week, leaving the company with just 60 full-time workers. Reports have since surfaced on Twitter that employees were let go, something Toys R Us recently faced backlash for, resulting in a 20 million severance fund for its 330,000 former employees. Co-founder Christopher Davis promised in the press release that Loot Crate subscribers should expect no changes. Daily operations will continue as usual. Unique and exciting fan items will be purchased, crates will be shipped. All aspects of the business will go on as before the Chapter 11 filing. Our employees will continue to be paid as usual during this transition. He said, that's a pretty hard sell, as it's been business as usual, as it hasn't been business as usual for Crate. According to the bankruptcy filing, as reported by the LA Times, the company has been withholding customer billing and still owes at least 20 million worth of shipments to customers. Some subscribers report not having received subscription boxes in the past 3 months. IO9 Deputy Editor Jill Pantozzi, Pantozzi. I'm probably saying that wrong. Who received a courtesy subscription for media, says that arrived was the May Nemesis box. There have also been complaints of repeat items, lack of interesting exclusives, and boxes filled with disappointing goods. Fallout fans may end up feeling especially frustrated. If Loot Crate fails to fulfill all of its missing shipments, folks who subscribe for the 6-part Fallout Series 2, which costs about $228, in hopes of getting a complete Liberty Prime set, could end up never receiving its head. So yeah, there we go. So Loot Crate has been in decline for a good while now.
Yep.
That's sad. This one reeks of mismanagement. It really does. It's sad to say that's really what it feels like, a big mess. And I can't say I'm surprised, really. I'm not surprised either. However, as people can see in our topic, there is an addition to it as well. The possible end for Star Wars comics selling well. Part of the loot box system, sorry, or loot crate, is Star Wars comics. They tend to sell, or they tend to include Star Wars comic books. Not the classic stuff. We're talking Disney specific things. These are like issue ones and so on of certain comic lines that they wind up creating. Now, there's something interesting to note. For a while now, Disney has been touting that, or Disney and Marvel have been touting that their Star Wars comics have been selling really well with like 1 million comic issue ones always sold and so on and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this doesn't count individual sales. This counts for bulk sales. And part of those bulk sales is through Loot Crate, apparently. As it turns out, Loot Crate has kind of a deal with Marvel and with Disney. And so part of this deal is that they get to sell or send issue ones and very specific issues of Star Wars comic books to their fans, to their subscribers. So this kind of tells you that Disney and Marvel's been fluffing up the numbers for their comic books that have not been selling well. They've been bundling it with Loot Crate. If that's not scummy, I don't know what is.
Good goody.
I'm not surprised. But once Loot Crate goes the way of the dodo, because based on what we're seeing here, that's basically what's going to happen. Or what's going to happen. They're going out of business, plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
But once that happens, Disney's going to see a sharp sale, more so than usual. I wonder how they're going to try and spin it.
They're probably going to throw blame at the wrong people.
No, I don't doubt it. Because that's Disney's MO as of late. Just never take responsibility for your own fuck-up. Claim it's everybody else's fault. Insult your fans and continue the cycle. Idiots.
Yeah, my mom was like talking about last night we were talking about her going to Orlando, apparently. She mentioned, like, I've been to Disneyland, but I've never been to Disney World. And I've told her, don't go there. Go to Orlando. Go to Universal. Don't go to Disney. It's just not worth it.
It really isn't anymore.
Like, she wants to go for the Star Wars rides. Because she's a Star Wars fan.
The only ride she's gonna be that they have for Disney is Star Tours. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's one ride. The big thing, Galaxy's Edge, in the other Disney park. It's not here.
Yeah. I pointed out to her that, like, the Han Solo ride that she was talking about, that's not in Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And it's...
Oh, no,
It's just not worth it.
No, everything in Galaxy's Edge is just disappointing. Like, she'll go there, wait about 5 minutes for everything, walk out, and still feel like she overweighted. That's how bad it is.
The last time my mom went to Universal Studio, she went with her mom, and they spent 25 freaking minutes not understanding the fact that, like, a good part of the park is for parents and their children, as in, like, little kids. And because she went there with her mom, and they're both, like, in their, like, her mom's in her 80s by now, but she was really old at the time, and my mom was probably in her 30s. That's not parent and child, that's two grown women trying to get into a park for parents and their children. Like, it took to the point where literally they had to talk to the manager of that ride. And they explained it very clearly. A lot better than the poor teenager that had to deal with my mom and her mom. Explaining it's for parents and children.
It's so funny. But, yeah, like I said, Disney's just been south as of late. And given that Disney, sorry, that Universal and everything is like beating them out in sales.
Yeah.
It's telling.
I
It's really
want
telling.
I want to go to Universal still. Just mostly for well, now it's Jurassic Park, because according to Mom, Jaws is very likely gone. Because when they went there, Terminator was being shut down, which sucks.
Well, and when you look at all the effort
Mm.
to uh, the Terminator ride, we're talking about, and they filmed another film. It costs a bit. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. Oh yeah, they did close the Jaws ride. Hmm.
What was funnier is that my mom kept out shooting my grandma, and this is like the grandma I actually like. She's a lot of fun, but like she kept out shooting her in the Men in Black ride. So they went, and then nobody was in line for that ride, so they just kept getting on over and over
Oh,
again for like 5 times in a row.
oh, okay. Now I see why they had to close it down.
Uh oh.
It became a real life hazard, apparently.
Uh oh.
Okay, let me look at this up. Theme park tourist. Holds a special place in the hearts of its operation. 2 decades, subjecting millions of guests to terrors. Just finally closed in. Oh, it closed in 2012.
Aww.
To make room for the Wizard and World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley.
I've
We didn't
mentioned that to her,
realize.
and she's excited for it. I could care fucking less.
Let's see. Uh, uh, even Walt Disney World. I'm just scrolling through. Uh, oh, they had problems with the animatronic.
Yep.
Oh dear.
I do remember you mentioned that, like, when you went on the ride, it looked really demonic when it came out at you. Because somebody
No, apparently,
threw a can in there.
yeah. Apparently, what's going on is that it's a life-size replica of the Jaws monster shark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's operated on this machine underneath, so everything's obscured by the water.
Yeah.
The machine was having issues to the point where apparently it was going on some occasions it almost launched.
It almost launched the shark?
Yes,
Oh my god, that would be
like
awesome!
actually, but no, I mean we're talking like the motors were failing, and it was like the pressure was so great it was going to be like throwing a car at full speed at people. They had to shut it down because the thing was going to kill someone eventually.
Oh, that sucks. I wanted to
Oh
go on that
man.
ride so bad. Because I love Jaws. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it was iconic and rest in peace. But at the same time, thank God they stopped it because
Yeah.
that thing would have killed someone.
Like,
It's
if it had actually injured somebody, Universal would have failed, and Disney would have kept
Mhm.
going.
No, that not only that, but we're talking. Keep in mind, this thing is full scale to like the one set in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So the kind of death we're talking about is like, oof. Not only that, but apparently someone was attempting to cut the ropes for the hung up jaws so it would fall on someone.
Ugh.
And that thing was like solid. Like I don't know what material it was made out of. I don't think it was. I think it was like some sort of hard plastic, something like that.
Plexiglass, something like
And,
that, yeah.
I
Well, not
don't know, but
plexiglass,
basically,
not carbon fiber, fiberglass, that's it, fiberglass.
probably. But if the thing is that that version of Jaws, the hung up shark, basically, um, its mouth is open, so you can stick your almost your entire upper body in there. If that thing fell, your body is getting cut in half.
Yep.
It's like who was a dumbass who thought that was a good idea? And I mean, like trying to cut this thing.
Yeah. Florida man.
Florida man, I don't doubt it. That's a big yeah, it is. I mean, I'll give Universe that fucking terrifying as humanly possible, and I applaud them for it. But at the same time, they really needed to take care of that fucking thing, the animatronics on that thing.
Yep.
Because, like, in combination with the demonic can sparking that it had, and this apparent almost launching a full car at speed of people, ugh, that would have been horrible.
I have to. Is the. I have to remember, is, like, the mummy still there?
Let me check.
Because I don't think they I don't think that existed when they went to visit.
Let's see. I'm looking.
By the way, I think my grandma might be a Florida person in disguise.
I don't doubt it.
Because when they went to Florida, she fed gators bacon, and tried to get them to join her and my mom in the swimming pool at the resort with bacon.
Okay, no, the right's still open. Hasn't.
Yay.
So that's good. That's good. Let's see what else I can find. No, outside of that, there's very little else that's happened. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's not too surprising that something like this happens, I should say. Yeah, only in Florida. Yeah.
Only in Florida.
You know, I joked, and I said when the storm had here, I joked, you know, I was like, what elder god did I piss off, and what do I have to do to get this to stop? Do I have to sacrifice a fucking gator to it?
I mean, I did point out to my mom that, like, the gators in the South, they're only found in the South, what am I talking about? Like, one of their favorite foods is the wild boar that roams around. So, feeding the bacon is not too bad. It's just, stop trying to lure them into a swimming pool. You're not going to survive that.
Well, no, if you know how to wrestle them down, it's fine. It just takes a lot of years of practice and skill.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I still have the toy, but my mom and my grandma went to Gatorland. I don't know why we're going from loot boxes to Gatorland.
Because it's fun.
They went to Gatorland, and my mom got one of those plushies with, like, the long arms with Velcro in the hands, so they can, like, wrap around your neck and kind of give you a hug. Like, she got an alligator from there, and and I think I still have him. I don't know, but she got me that, and it has Gatorland stitched onto its tummy. And it's really, really cute, and I love it.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just these. Like I said, if you know how to a standstill, it's fine. It's just you don't expect to master it day one.
Oh yeah, no.
Because it isn't going to happen.
I'm not that dumb. We don't have Washington Man up here. Thank gods. We have hipsters, though.
No, but trust me, like, my, what's the word? No, my dad had this, like I said before, he tends to, catch and, what's the word? He used to catch and deal with gators. We had one. You know, she was a complete and total bitch.
Oh, yeah.
I always had to wrestle her down whenever we tried to feed her because she always tried to get out. Chickens. We had to teach her, no, the food will come to you. That's part of how you domesticate them. But she never understood that, so we had to let her go. It was still crazy, though, to have to deal with her.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan. I was, half the time, everyone was like, oh, no, we can't be we can't be too rough on her or anything. It's like, this is the reason why she nips at you. She doesn't respect you.
Like, gators are resilient as hell. Believe it or not, they're actually a lot tougher than crocodiles, which I found very amusing.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the sense that, like, they have, you know, they're bigger or something like that. It's just the sense that, like, they can survive a lot more than a crocodile can. Like if it gets too cold, a gator will be just fine. It'll go into a bit of a hibernation and just wait patiently. Crocodiles, if it
Yes.
gets too cold, they're fucking dead.
Exactly, but still, like I said, it's dealing with these animals can be a real nightmare. What you're doing, and
I'm
honestly,
kind of realizing you're technically a Florida man. Technically. Like all
technically,
these stories that you have of you and your dad doing stupid shit with barracudas and alligators and other weird animals, you guys are either Florida man or Puerto Rico man.
oh, we're Puerto Rican. We live with nature, so we
Mm-hmm.
know how to deal with nature. Like I said, it's just a matter of knowing the animals you have to deal with,
Yeah.
and then figuring out, okay, what's the best way to draw it away? Oh, I know.
Yeah, you're like you're Florida man, you're the Gator Boys from Animal Planet, and a little bit of Steve Irwin. Just a little bit.
Hmm. But yeah, so anyway,
Yeah.
getting
We
back on
we went from
track
loot boxes to Florida man. Yeah. That is officially
to
Florida's superhero.
hmm to what's the word, to deal with Rev dealing childhood stories of monsters. Yeah, but anyway, what the fuck is going on? Sorry,
Well,
sorry.
up next is the Dark Crystal.
Right. Sorry, I was distracted by something else. So yeah, so a little while ago, another trailer for the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance came out, and I saw it. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Oh my god,
Mm.
because it looks like they're actually giving a damn and making it as authentic as humanly possible.
Woohoo!
We are talking about puppetry that hasn't been seen for in a long time,
Yeah.
and I can't be more happy about it. It's like, oh my god, yes, yes, please. Like everything. Here's the crazy thing: the amount of work and effort for the detailed work for everything in this show is insane. Like these things look like living creatures, and I'm more like, oh, yes,
Does it
please.
bring a little bit of nostalgia?
Hold on. You tell me.
Oh boy. Skeksis.
Yeah. Even the show apparently will CGI work to it, but it's clearly being used to enhance things. It's not being used as a crutch. There is a brief second, I believe, where what is it? Two of the main characters for the show are like forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that's chasing, like there are roots being pulled and everything, and it's clearly CGI, but it's clearly being used to enhance the scene. It's not being used to like hold the whole thing together. I'm like, oh my god, yes,
It's being used like
yes,
it was originally intended to, because like CGI was used for details that they just couldn't do with puppetry. It was only for very
exactly.
tiny details.
And like if you've seen the original movie and you're seeing the Skeksis now and look and how quote unquote youthful they look, it's kind of like, whoa,
Yeah.
you did not age well whatsoever. Which again is kind of it's funny when you consider it. It's
Dude,
like, whoa,
I watched that VHS so much to the point where it dissolved.
Jesus, man.
Actually, it fell behind the dresser and got crushed, but still.
Well, it counts, I suppose.
Like, it's not as
But
bad as what my brother did to Tremors.
what he did to Trump.
He watched it so much that it caught fire.
Get the fire extinguisher.
Like, he
Also,
destroyed the VHS for Tremors 1.
also to give a general scale of how these puppets are, like I'm just going to show you this real quick. Just for the sense of scale, just so you know how much work it's like.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's insane, and I love it. And it is the part,
I'm
like
excited.
everyone. Everyone looks the part, and I'm like, yes, yes. Of the things I've seen of the trailer, it's done its job.
Yeah.
I am excited, and I'm looking at this. I'm seeing the fighting. I'm seeing the story being unfolded, and I'm just like, I'm so happy. This is my childhood coming back in a good way, and I'm like, please don't fuck this
Your
up.
spooky
Please
as
don't fuck this
hell
up.
childhood. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know. Have you ever seen the pictures of that person that like is walking around with stilts? They look like one of those creatures that they ride in the original film. Have you
yeah,
seen the
yeah,
pictures of that person?
yeah.
He lives here. Well, they live
Oh,
here.
cool.
We were doing the strip mall down the road that I used to work for, like the beat store in. Like that's where the beat store used to be. They have this yearly thing every Halloween called the Candy Parade, where kids will go to the strip mall and they go to each and every storefront getting a piece of candy from each and every store. And that person walked by in that suit, full getup. It freaked every little kid out, but it was so cool. And
Uh,
there I am just staying there in a really shitty costume.
the only thing I'm gonna say that I'm
Mm-hmm.
too excited for this is with the Gelflings. I think something's gone wrong with the skin specifically, where they add shading so they don't look too much like wax mannequins. And for some of them, it looks fine with the lighting.
Yeah.
It's just that some of them, it looks very wrong, and I'm kind of like, please stop. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
But again, it's a lighting thing. It's not really an issue that I think is going to persist throughout the entire show, and I'm looking forward to it. Apparently, Mark Hamill is also playing a role in this. I'm so excited. I want to find out who he's playing.
Hmm.
But like I said, it's oh my god, it's my childhood come back.
Yeah.
And in preparation for this, I did a little digging. I was like, where is this story going to take place in? And I found out that there was actually a comic book that came out a while ago, I think, roughly. That what's the word? It's in the back of my head. What is it? That explains the story that leads up to everything that happened. It's a prequel to before the Skeksis or the original light beings arrive, then how life was while they were there, then what happened, what caused the crystal to split, and from there, basically, it just kind of ends. And I like it. It shows more of the world. It kind of explains like how everything went from good, or like life was normal, and it got strange. Then there was peace. Then someone fucked it up. Then it turned into anarchy and chaos. And by the time of the movie, now we see, well, shit. But apparently, from what I can tell, Age of Resistance it takes place after the prequel comic, but before the movie, in the middle.
When the
Which
Skeksis were starting to come to power or something like that.
exactly. Well, here's the interesting thing. Apparently, and again, this is from a bit of deep digging. They weren't bad from the beginning. I mean, they're cruel and mean to each other, but they're not evil by nature. It's just as time went on, they actually treated Gelflings nicely as subjects. They
Yeah.
weren't really. It was a cruel kind of life, but it wasn't needlessly so. But then at some point, the Emperor was scared of death, began killing them for the sake of immortality. Well, now what happened? So apparently, this thing will take place during that period when the shift occurs. I think. 'Cause, like I said, we see a lot of the Skeksis in full-on armor, even using swords and everything. And when you think about them, you really don't think they're combat that they're capable of combat. But no, apparently they are.
Yeah, because like originally they were all like uh nobles. They were really shitty nobles, and very rarely picked up a sword. But now we're seeing them when they were younger, at the very least, a lot better.
Yeah, more combat. Like they actually decide, okay, now. which again kind of shows, like, for example, the general, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that rank wasn't just because he was born into it. Apparently, he did lead an army.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see him actually fight. I mean, we know what kind of strength that fucker has.
Yeah.
And that's when he's old. Imagine what he was like in his prime.
Oh, dear gods.
That's a scary thought to consider.
Oh, bump my mic.
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, another interesting detail is a bit of the in the trailer. It actually shows a hidden feature of their anatomy, something you don't see very often,
Oh.
and that's the well. Apparently, they have an extra set of limbs on their back, 2 extra arms, and during one of the fights, you see one of them charging into a little army, gelflings, and you actually see the 2 smaller arms holding blades out while he's charging it.
Yeah, like in that picture above the scale one, you can actually see the little arm holding something.
Exactly, and it's insane when you consider it.
Yeah.
Again, it kind of shows that these creatures really are horribly misshapen things.
What I like about it is that, like, all that time ago when the Dark Crystal came out, people would see these creatures. They didn't really know what they were. And, like, before the comic and before this show, people have thought that they had a lockdown of what they are. And then we discover something new that has actually been there the entire time. And we start questioning what they are again, and I love that.
Exactly. Like, it's hard to imagine that once this vibrant, energy-based species suddenly splits into 2, where one is kind of like slug-like and very old by nature, and then you've got these weird vulture-like decaying things. It's crazy to consider.
My brain immediately goes to symbolism.
Yeah,
like,
kind of.
Slugs are, like, when it comes to nature, they eat plant matter. They eat, like, decaying matter. But vultures eat decaying flesh. Rotting flesh. They're both the cleaners of the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Just from they're just 2 different sides of the coin. One is plant, one is meat.
Well, a better way to view it as well is that I think they're called elders or something.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called, but basically the other thing about the elders, they're wise and old, but they're extremely complacent. They don't really change things. They're more comfortable with basically just sitting around and being attuned with everything. Whereas the Skeksis like to conquer and dominate, and they cause things to decay. They're more proactive. Yeah, they're more proactive in it, and it's a good dynamic.
Yeah.
And it also but at the same time, it also kind of shows really dependent size are of each other, even though they hate each other.
Yeah, like in the original movie, one of these Skeksis injures their hand, and then it cuts to one of the elders, and they look at their hand, and it's injured the exact same way.
Yes.
Like, they are really 2 sides of a coin in more than one way, both in personality and in species.
Yes. In fact, an interesting thing about it turns out there were more of both sides, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
But, yeah, the aforementioned one of them choked, one of the Skeksis chokes an elder, and it winds up a friend. Then he throws another one into a pit, and he gets incinerated. And it kind of showed you, it's like, oh shit, we are connected. Hence why they didn't kill the others. They just kind of shoot them out of the castle.
Yeah.
But again, it's a weird kind of dynamic. They hate themselves. It's kind of funny when you think about it.
Well, humans are like that.
True, but this is more of an extreme hatred. Still, I'm looking forward to this. I want to see what they do with this, and
I wish I could see it. I can't. Like, especially if this is, like, specific, like, strictly for Netflix streaming, I can't see it.
There are, I know that the focus is Netflix, but I know it's going to be on other places too. Just a matter of booking.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a pain though to find, I should say.
What I find funny is like a lot of people are hearing about all these companies going to movie streaming, similar to Netflix, like Disney starting to do that. And then everybody's response is slowly putting on the pirate hat. It's like,
Exactly.
Netflix is great, Redbox is great, but if you oversaturate it, the pirates come back. And it's a lot harder to catch them now.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I just noticed it.
Hmm.
It is admirable what they're doing with these puppets.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
impressive. Like this is no small feat of anything. This is creating life-size puppets and little puppets and just literally building entire sets to become an ecosystem.
They are holding true to Henson's dream.
Yeah, and like I said, especially now I'm just looking. It is. It's like hold on, I'll just show this. This here pretty much amplifies what I was saying. They're using CG, but in just to enhance a scene naturally. It's not the whole thing. Because I believe the tree is real. I believe the lighting is real. The ledge is real. It's just that branch. That's the only bit of CG I think it is, and even then, it might be a puppet.
Yeah.
Just with CG covering the actors.
Let me see. Alright, gonna have to replace the sensor dog.
Oh no!
Oh no, where'd it go? Oh no, where'd it go?
I don't know.
Oh,
So have I
God.
been breaking
Thank
or
you,
anything this
Giphy.
entire
Thank
time?
you, Giphy. Son of a bitch,
Sorry.
let me try that again. No.
By the way, in this entire time, have I been breaking or cutting out or?
It has been bare minimum. Like, it's not been enough to be, like, a problem.
What do you mean by bare?
Like, right there.
Okay.
It's extremely rare, unlike before.
Woo.
Okay,
Excellent.
I
It's
can't show the
fixed.
GIFs because Giphy.
All right. Well, never mind. Point is that this whole thing is impressive, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's not going to be a streamed thing, because then I'm never going to be able to see it. But,
Yeah,
like, talking about the
I might be
puppets and
able.
all that, one of my favorite forms of movies is stop motion. Like, believe it or not, I do love the newer movies. Like, regardless of CGI, regardless of, like, all the explosions, a good number of these movies are pretty good. But my absolute favorite is stop motion. Especially, like, the old action movies with stop motion, like, Clash of the Titans and stuff like that. Like, that era. I loved it.
Of course.
Like, people say what they want about movies nowadays and, like, how terrible movies were back then. When it came to, like, stop motion, dear gods, America could not be beat. Like, at all.
Mm-hmm.
But Jim Henson, I think that's him. I thought
Yeah, it was Jim
I thought I
Henson.
was confusing him with Tim Burton.
No.
Jim Henson is a master with puppets, with creating
Was.
yeah. Well, even his son is.
True, but you know.
Yeah, but his son's like first official movie was like a really raunchy Muppet movie, which surprisingly my mom likes.
I'll give the happy this. It was okay
Yeah.
for a first out.
Anyway, Henson was and still is a master at puppets and creating a world and bringing the child out of everybody, no matter how weird the puppets were.
Exactly.
Like, that is exactly what a kid sees when they let their imagination run wild. Like, something very strange that they can't really explain, but they can see perfectly. And the Dark Crystal is a cultural icon. It's I lost the
That
words.
has been somewhat not forgotten, but hasn't been prevalent in a long time
It
until
hasn't
now.
been relevant for a very long time. Like, people are aware of it, and a lot of like the older people, mostly those in their 20s to 30s, somewhere around there, a lot of people just love that movie. And, like, they love the designs, they love the creatures and the story somewhat. But a lot of people don't remember the movie, which is kind of heartbreaking, but it's also really good to see this refresh, like seeing them bring it back, but they're not going the way of other reboots where they replace everything with CGI or cartoons, or they just completely ignore the original material.
No, this is an up and up continue
Yeah, yeah.
to the original, and it's like, yes, I mean, we know how it's going to end eventually,
Like,
but until then, let this happen.
when it came to the movie Tremors, like, I'm gonna bring these guys up because they use puppets. When it came to
Oh,
Tremors, 1 and 2, they used puppets. 3, they used CGI, and then it didn't really do that good. 4, they used puppets again, and it did phenomenal. But all
yeah,
the other ones
before we can,
afterwards have turned back to CGI, and they're still really good. It's just they're Sci-Fi
okay,
Channel now.
yeah, here's one thing I need to show you.
Hmm.
Look at these creatures.
Oh
This
God.
this is puppetry. No, this is puppetry. Right there. They could have gone CG. Instead, they
Oh
went with
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is That is fucking impressive.
Yeah, there was a there was a show on Sci-Fi Channel about Jim. It was like a Jim Henson challenge show, similar to like Face Off, where you made Jim Henson style puppets, and you had to do whatever you could to fit it to the theme. And the only one that sticks to my mind is a wizard has these plaques, like these busts on the wall, like similar like how people have a mounted deer and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But it's of a weird magical creature. And the wizard was like a comedian. He was from the show Scrubs. He's the black guy.
Okay.
He's really really funny. And he had and like these people had to give these creatures not only a way to move their mouth, they also had to give them a script. They also had to add something electrical about them. Anything. And they had to be able to stay still until the guy approached them. The person who won made the weirdest creature. It was a tree root. With one eye was really close to the nose, the other eye was like all the way up on the forehead. The eyes glowed, but like one eye went dim. So it makes you think maybe he's not as powerful as before. And he spoke in a really heavy Scottish accent, I think. Or it might have been like the Loch Ness Monster's cousin. But that one won because it was so unique. It had no symmetry. It had no smooth edge to it. It was a very randomized, gnarly hunk of wood with a mouth. And it was really well done. I don't remember what
That's
the
nice.
others had, though.
I'm sure we'll find it later on. Still, all that said,
I'm in love with this. I'm in love with all of
I'm
this.
I'm hopefully optimistic. Again, my jaded nature keeps me from
Mm-hmm.
being 100% in. But at the same time, there is that hope, that glimmer, that this will do what Dark Crystal did before.
Which,
I'm just hoping
yeah,
it's successful
yeah.
and done, and they actually, because as far as I can tell, they're respecting the source. Now it's up to, now all that's up to is the story and the writing.
And the actors.
Oh, the actors are going to be A-list. Like I looked into it, it's like they are superstars, so they're going to bring the performance of their. It's
I
the
bet like
story
a
that's going to have
majority
to.
of them signed up because of the word Dark Crystal. Like, they grew up with it.
I know that from what I can tell, apparently, um, sorry, I had a moment. Um, Mark Hamill is specifically voicing one with a lot of glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting to hear. I wonder what kind of voice he's going to give it.
Oh, Luke Skywalker. Okay.
Yes.
Like saying an actor's name is not going to help. I have to look them up.
Yeah.
Oh dear
Um,
gods, this is gonna be so much better than Star Wars.
yes, this is the one he's going to be voicing.
What the fuck?
Old man, what are you doing? Old man, go home. Oh dear.
Yeah, but like you can definitely see the CGI with the lighting as well.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's enhancing the scene. It's not directly. They're not using it to hide. They're using it to hide things, but in a good way.
Like, still going on with the puppetry, you've seen Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
Every single part of that plant was puppet. Every little detail was puppet. Like, and people today still think that it's CGI. It is 100% puppetry. So if you take something like that and Dark Crystal, like they're still going to go through the puppetry and stuff like that. I'm trying to formulate my words here. It's not working. You have people who have very likely worked on Little Shop of Horrors or worked on all the puppetry from like Jumanji as well, working on this, very likely. Sometimes puppetry is a lot better than CGI.
Oh yeah.
100% better.
It just
depends.
Kind of
It just depends what you're using either side for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
And
this was, like I said, so much good in the.
I still don't understand the last topic though.
Okay, so this is a bit of an odd one, so we'll get into it. So, a locale is, to put it simply, it's a person who has basically humiliated themselves on the internet. They take whatever they're doing too seriously, and they think they're all that in a bag of chips. And typically, they're marked by being easily tricked by other people, made fun of, yada yada.
Ah.
But they're also complete idiots or arrogant or just downright foul people. For this topic in particular, it was actually inspired by something I was watching, which was basically a guy I watched called yes, he is a good Onision is a good locale. But this started from I was watching a guy called Golden Triangle Gaming, or GTG, and he's basically created his own web show, what's the word? Web news show called the Snort Report, and he's built this all off the back of one particular local. The guy I talked about before, the one with the cat and everything, the 1K cat. I might as well say his fucking name now. Darkside Phil, or DSP. And another locale he talks about, another infamous one, is a fatty called Wings of Redemption. Infamous for throwing his controller and almost just... You know what? Let me see if I can find it. It's kind of funny. But how do I put it? Imagine a fat man. A bald fat guy, right? Who acts like a toddler, basically. That's the best way I can put it. But he has extreme temper issues, to the point where he has thrown his controllers all over the place in his tiny little room. And he's just a prick. Let's put it out there. He's a complete and total prick. Anyway, I believe this. Yeah, has a heavy Southern accent as well. Is also infamous for basically getting angry with someone during a game. I think it was either of Rainbow Six Siege or um, Call of Duty. I can't remember which one.
I find it very amusing. There's an exercise bike in the background.
I'll get into that for a second. But he's also famous for getting angry with someone and then saying, "Yeah, whatever. I hope your family."
Hope you're what?
Not a car crash. I hope your family dies in an automobile accident. That's his exact words.
Wow.
And that basically made everyone say, okay, now we have to destroy this life, which they basically do. On a daily basis, this guy is, Darks and Darkside Phil are humiliated on a daily basis by their viewers. And it's hilarious. Because well, that's the thing. The best way to put it is, these are the perfect examples of men who have such shitty and poor lives that they have no control over anything. And so when they stream, they think they're so powerful. When in reality, it's their viewers who are so powerful and routinely make them the joke of everything. How do I put it? It's like, imagine someone who owns their own company, right? Mm-hmm. And thinks they run everything. When in reality, they're nothing but the joke advertisement for the company.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the point is that GTG does this video as well where he basically, or another web show, which is called the Wings of Redemption Reporter, or something silly like that. And he's actually been covering Wings, and Wings, so you mentioned the exercise bike, right?
Yeah.
Wings has struggled with weight. He is a very heavy man. His life is very depressing, very miserable, etc., etc. So he has tried and failed to lose all this weight. We're talking about a guy who's almost 300 pounds, something crazy like that. Mm-hmm. Exercise eludes him. That's the best way of putting it. The truth of the matter is that he's been going for the other method of weight loss, which is specifically the what's it called? It's a surgery you do. I can't remember.
Oh, getting his stomach stapled?
Yeah, that's gastro something. I can't remember. But he's been asking for this from his fans for years and have this happen and so on and so on and so on, right? Well, finally, after years of putting it off, he's gone through with it. He's actually gone to, I forget what country it is. I know it wasn't in America, somewhere else. But they finally did it. He finally got the stomach surgery done. And after that was said and done, after he got the cut and everything, he's been showing improvement as a person. We're talking specifically his attitude. Wants to leave. He wants to find an actual job and not beg for money all his life. He's changed, and his weight is you notice it. He's losing weight like you wouldn't believe, and it's crazy when you think about it. Which is kind of what sparked this which is kind of what sparked this kind of debate, and that is, can low cows be redeemed? Can they actually step away from this destruction of their lives and actually redeem themselves, become better human beings as a result?
Still very much depends on the person.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not going to...
You're not going to be like, you're not going to be going, oh, he's completely changed after like one day.
No. The guy's still a fucking prick, and if he was on fire, I wouldn't even bother to piss him out. But I would help the guy. It's just that he's beneath my piss. That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, just throw raccoon piss on him. That stuff is nasty as hell.
No, beat him with the raccoon to put out the fire.
Oh, that poor raccoon. Oh my gosh. But
no.
I will say, like, speaking from experience, if your body's not feeling right, like, there are moments where I have, like, depression episodes, and I don't want to take a shower. And that leads me to be a very bitter, very frustrating person to work with. Like, I've actually snapped at Rev multiple times. And it probably hasn't come across because I've been using, like, text messages. Like, a quick like just a quick shower, something to eat, something to drink, maybe a good walk, and I am a good person again. But
Yeah.
like when you're a person who's that far overweight and not happy with themselves, you're a terrible person for a while.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, like don't get this wrong. I don't believe for a second Wings will ever be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's that bitter for all his life and has always been this just generally what's the word? It's just generally been an unpleasant person, like attacking people for no good reason, getting too mad again, just things of that nature. I doubt for a second he's going to be a good person. I doubt it. However,
Yeah, yeah. A I'm not gonna say a specific word or specific name, but a quote unquote rally person
mhm,
can can lose weight and eat healthy, but at the end of the day, they are still a quote unquote rally person because it's
yeah,
all based on their personality, not their appearance.
exactly. And to be completely honest, I doubt for a second that Jordy here will be a better person. I doubt it. I don't think he.
Mm-hmm.
However, him taking the steps, actually trying to keep his weight down, saying that he actually wants to get a normal job and get back into the market and actually be a better person, for example, that says something. That tells me he wants to change as a human being. And
Yeah.
it's going to be hard. I mean, the weight's off, clearly. And now it's up to him as a person. It's up to him to get his life in order. This is an opportunity. There's a change. There is a change in the man. And I am hoping that he improves. That is as far as I'm going to go. Beyond that, if he's still a shit human being, but is doing it with a job and isn't treating people like shit, that's fine. I don't care. But if he relapses, I'm just going to say, well, I kind of expected it. So that's one low count I want to say. But then you've got someone like, no, excuse me, the aforementioned Dark Side Phil. We were talking about a man who, how do I put this in the best possible? He's a dumbass. That's me being nice about it.
Yeah.
No, I could like lose my mind. Like that is how much hatred I have for this one individual. However, he's beneath my contempt is the best way of putting it. A man who, how do I put it? Now this isn't even a man. Let me rephrase it. This is a pig who has let his entire life be dictated by the internet, has put himself on the internet, and has abused people because he can. He has mistreated his fans. He has tricked them, lied to them about financial straits. Just in general, he's a foul animal. To call him human is to insult the human race.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying something. No, like I said, he is just this pathetic little worm of a person. And he's a habitual liar. He can't stop lying. He lies about everything because he's controlled by greed. He's a man who is so controlled by the idea of money that he has turned a quote unquote hobby, which people have basically proven he never cared about games to begin with, into his job, and he hates it. We're talking about a guy who, when we go on stream, like there's a few minutes of dead air before we actually start.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about a man who does this for 2 hours just to put off playing an actual game.
Uh, there. 2 hours of completely dead air.
No, 2 hours of him going on stream and
And just
talking out of his fucking.
yeah, like there are actually a lot of streamers that do that now. They'll just sit and chat, but it's always a very friendly conversation. Like, hey, how's your day? And like, they'll have their own little rants, But at the end of the day, they're still going to play a game that they want to play, or unless they completely forget, because they're enjoying having a conversation with the people who want to watch.
No, not with Phil. Phil is basically this. Go. It's basically glare at the chat, police the chat, so nobody says anything that contradicts it. Whine about how shitty his life is, how he thanks, or how he's worried they won't meet this week's sub goal, and blah blah. Just here's all my issues, and here are my taxes. Paid for them for 2 straight hours, and then go to the game. The people don't come here for you, Phil. They come. That's something he's never understood. He thinks the game enhances him when it's the other way around. And this is an instance, like I said, the shit I could talk about for this fat piece of shit would just, I could, there aren't enough hours in.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, he is a pariah to the point where people have been screaming at him to get him to stop doing what he does. Not because they're jealous, not because they think he's successful, it's because they're tired of watching this train wreck happen, and they want something new. To the point where people have actually managed to take everything he said, every ounce of bullshit he spewed, and convert them into entire videos debunking why this is a lie. That's saying something. There are people who literally make money off of this internet. And his method, his way of getting rid of them is not by disproving it, it's not by calling them and having a debate, it's nothing. It's go to YouTube and try to have their channels destroyed. That's the best way to put it. This guy does not care. He wants to destroy anything that criticizes him. He doesn't take it as improvement. He takes everything as a personal attack, when in reality that's not the case. If people are telling you do this, it is because they want you to improve, not because they hate you, even though some of them do hate you, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. The guy has this horrible method of always legitimate questions, question what he does. Like I said, we're talking about a man who is so insecure in his own life that he uses his Twitch as the power vacuum he's never had. And people are always gunning for his head. This is an instance of a locale who will never be redeemed because it's not his nature. He's a spiteful human being and And currently, there's a pool going on amongst the quote-unquote detractors, which is his way of calling his critics, really. Like I said, he loves to inhumanize his enemies, so they seem less important. Again, that's the kind of piece of shit we're talking about. But there's a pool going amongst them, which is how long before his wife dumps his ass and takes half of everything in his house, or until she comes out that she's pregnant and everything. Like I said, the moment a kid's introduced, or the moment his wife leaves his sorry ass, is the moment his life is.
Yep.
And I can't wait. I'm going to drive all the way to Walmart once he loses that fucking mansion of his. It's not even a mansion. It's just a fancy house in a gated community. I can't wait for that to happen. Go by to the shitty motel he's at and drop him 50 cents. And with a little message that says, was it worth it? Was it? And that's it. That's it. Just leave after that. Like, that is how beneath contempt he is to me. Like, the worst thing I'll ever do, piece of shit, is conspire to have a food truck give him a shitty sandwich. Just bread and cheese. That's it. That's it. But, like I said, this is an instance where climb out of the pit he's built. He just can't, because he never learned. How do I put it? He started ignorant, remained.
Yeah.
And I guess the overall is that's the problem with locales. They never stop being stupid. They never learn to change. They think everything they do will stand the test of time and they'll be so and so. When in reality, they're just, the best way to put it is they're a sideshow attraction you see, you laugh at, and then you walk away.
Yeah, like,
That's
like
the best way to...
a freak show alley at the circus. That's the best way to describe this from
Exactly.
the sounds of it.
Exactly. Come see the freak that is Darkside Phil, the odd that is Christian, and the retard that is Onision. 5 cents per ride, please. And that's the thing they don't understand. They don't realize that they're not special, that they're not what's the word? They're not special, they're not unique. They're just the latest in a long line of oddities that will be forgotten with time. The only reason why people like me and others talk about them is because they make such an impression on the internet, or they last this long. Like I said, Darkside Phil, his big accomplishment in life is being on the internet for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Like that's not like the Yogscast or anyone turn what they do good job. Like, I've existed for 11 years. Okay. And you're still an oddity. Whatever.
I've been here for 11 years. Oh, and you're still a pile of turds.
Exactly. It's like, oh, and you're unemployed, so you're a host.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's not like, it's definitely not like, when we went to see Godzilla and I met people at the theater that were still there after I had left in 2016. Like, they are still working there. Even though, like, the business itself even gives them the suggestion, don't make this your career, find other jobs, and they are still there. Like, that's heartbreaking to see. But in this case, he's been there for 11 years. Just could have learned something, could have taken up a better hobby. Like, Jesus Christ.
Could have taken what you do as, if you want to turn this into not bitch and whine and complain about everything in life and not do anything about it. Like, again, as GTG puts it, Phil took what he did as his hobby as a living and created a little box for himself that he can't escape from. He's too infamous. He's been out of the job market for 11 years. Any background check on him will show that he's a complete and utter idiot. Mm-hmm. And after that, that's it. He's stuck in this place. He can't leave. Unlike, for example, you and me. If we decided one show, that doesn't mean we're screwed. We have jobs. We have options.
Yeah. We
can go about our lives and do whatever we want. But people like Phil, Wings, even Christian, they can't do anything because they're too infamous. Go on.
Moving stuff around over here. I do have plans sometime in the week. I have to schedule this out for myself here because I have very little free time nowadays. I am marching down to the bank with a wad of money, and I'm going to explain to them what the fuck I need. Because I am getting so tired of this. I want to start getting paid for drawing. And also, I every time people join like the Twitch stream and they realize they can't give bits, it kind of breaks my heart because like the way they're voicing it and like the emotes they're using and stuff like that, they want to give bits, like they really do, and it hurts that they can't. Like they want to help.
Yeah, and again, like I said, this is what we do. If we get paid for what we do, awesome. That's fine.
If not, then that's no problem.
Exactly.
We're not forcing people to donate money to us. We're not growling at our knees or hitting ourselves in the head with a controller.
Exactly. It's what we do is for fun. We've been doing this for what? About 59 episodes. Yeah, 59. Just for the sake of doing it.
And we still have shit. And we only
Go ahead.
started being loosey-goosey at around episode 50.
Yeah. And I've joked about this.
Mm-hmm.
episodes, we have shit views, and fun.
Yeah, we're still
If
going.
you,
Like this is why I don't look at the amount of people who are in the stream anymore. Because when you do that, it just the fun goes away.
depresses you.
Yeah, the fun goes away. By the way, Rev, leave the call and come back.
Oh, sure, sure.
I want him to join back in. Okay.
There we are.
But like, the mentality to always have when it comes to live streaming is always imagine that you have thousands of people watching you. That might not actually be true, but keep the energy and like the mindset that you are streaming to thousands of people and just talk. Don't let it go quiet. Just keep talking. Act as though you have a lot of people, even if you don't. It'll make you feel a whole lot better.
And who knows, and you'll draw people in post.
Yeah. Like, I post the links to this stream on Tumblr, and I encourage people to reblog it and share it, stuff like that. We only get likes, which does nothing, by the way. Like, the links are also posted on Twitter. They're posted in our Discord. And I don't encourage people on Discord to share the links around, because that's mostly your job over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I send you the links before I post them in the group. But if people don't do that, that's fine. I really don't care. Like, we're doing this because we want to, and we've wanted to do this for a long time. And it's it's... What's the proper term? Shirt off our back? Skin off our back? Whichever.
Skin off our backs.
Yeah, it's no problem for us if we're not being noticed. Because everything we're doing here is for our own enjoyment. And if somebody else enjoys it, that's great. Good on you.
Exactly.
We're happy to have you here. It's a shit show, but we are happy to see you.
Exactly. To me, if even one person enjoys our show and actually, enjoys everything we do, that is success to me.
There was an artist on DA and a little bit of Tumblr. They haven't really posted art for a long time. They've just been posting photos of their vacations. Lucky bastard. And to this day, I still have one of their comments in my notifications, in my inbox. I've never deleted it. And it's words of encouragement, as well as thank yous for inspiring them. Like, my art inspired somebody. They drew all these really, really well done pencil drawings of my character, Tobias, but in different stories with, like, different designs. Like, just adjusted a little bit for their liking. And I don't mind that at all. Because, like, they're changing him enough to where it's not an exact rip-off. Like, the stories they come up with are very well done. They always give credit, and they always give thanks for the inspiration, and it always blew my mind.
Likewise. And that's exactly my point. It's like, even when I do anything, there are people who, again, like, I've joked about this before, but recall when we had, I think it was episode 56 or 58, I can't remember. But it was the one where we had this huge porn talk right at the beginning. And as funny as this gonna sound, when I was writing things and just doing things for others in general, no, not others, but like just writing and everything, I assume no one's gonna like this. This is crap. My writing style isn't that fantastic or whatever. And yet, lo and behold, over the course of some time, people have just been jumping, enjoying it, asking me to do more. And I'm like, whoa, cool.
Yeah.
And it isn't just smut. It's even the stories are right now. I see people enjoying it. I see people reading it, actually liking it, asking questions. I'm like, oh my god, yes, this is so good. I'm happy, because it means people like what I do, and that's enough for me. I don't care if I'm famous or infamous. I don't care if people know me on the street or whatever. To me, I've done something people enjoy. And even if I'm not known for it, that's enough for me.
Unfortunately, personally, I run into this mental problem. I think it's mental. It's more of like motivational problem. And I noticed this very quickly when it came to my alternate blog with Sharkiplier.
No.
Or shall I say Alex or Typhoon. Like, he is such a unique character. He is so removed from Markiplier's egos that he's his own thing. And he's such his own thing that he has actually gotten fan art.
Wow.
Yeah, and like, I love the fan art. It's all really well done and really cute and beautiful, for the most part. But the problem I run into, and this is the problem I've noticed, is that as soon as somebody draws fan art of any of my characters, I stop drawing or doing anything with that character. I just completely stop, and I don't know why. Like, when that person was, like, posting images and, like, writing stories and being really happy about the character Tobias, I suddenly stopped drawing him, and I started drawing Alex. And then Alex got popular, and people started drawing fan art for him, as I'm showing Rev, because I don't want to put it on stream. They're other people's artwork.
Right.
And I suddenly stopped doing anything with that blog. And I don't like that I'm doing that, because I do enjoy this fan art, and I want to make stuff. It's just, I don't really have the strength to do it anymore. And that's also why the Four Dorks has kind of been quiet for so long. Because as much as I encourage you guys to create stuff for the blog, by the way, I'm still very much like the person who owns the blog alongside Bill. I have to do all the drawings and come up with crazy, stupid ideas. Like, I come up with ideas, but the issue is making it. Like, the biggest update we've had was the Gmod office tour when I was on my old computer.
I remember those.
I need to I did not care for that, but at the same time, I found it very funny to add all those background details. Because when I make a Gmod image, there is so much detail in it that people don't really see it. And it hurts.
Or someone gets lost and is like, oh no.
like with the Warframe D&D comics I've been making, which, by the way, I need to continue that, but once again, I'm getting burnt out. There is so much detail that no one really notices, especially with the game store. Everything in there was hand-built. Like,
Alright.
the entire save file, Ivara's apartment is still there. It's still built. Like, if I were to turn around away from the game table and go through the door, you'll be met with Chroma looking sad at a really crappy bucket of soup he tried to make using fish and cheese.
Good lord.
And if I stepped out their front door and went down the road, the game store is still there. All in one piece. Like, everything is still put in place. All the apartments are still put in place. Except for maybe Rhino's, because his isn't actually an apartment, it's a garage.
Alright.
But, like, all the props are still there. All the characters are still in place to be used if I ever go back there. And it's so much work being put in there.
I know what you feel, trust me.
Yeah.
And like I said, we do things for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And even though I suppose someone would consider us locals as well, you know, because typically a local is someone who like puts too much effort into something that has very little payoff. But even if that's the case, we don't make ourselves look like complete and total idiots, nor do we do incredibly cringy things. We just do this for the sake of doing it.
If we do something stupid, it's either completely by accident, and when we're aware of it, we laugh it off, we're not angry about it, or it's choreographed, and it's really well done. Also, Bill, the Four Dorks was made from really shitty, laggy doodles I used to do on stream. The art was already bad. But now that I have Fire Alpaca, the art is actually good. Which is another reason why I don't draw it so much, because it was supposed to be like MS Paint.
It's like, oh no.
Oh
But
no, I had to put effort in.
it's like, oh no, its charm is gone.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm just saying is that if we even if we do something stupid, it's typically privately,
Yeah.
and even then we don't do anything. Like, what's that say? How does that saying go? Don't do anything on the internet that you wouldn't do in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the golden rule if you want to stay, unharassed or whatever. But like I said, locals like Phil, like Wings, they put their lives publicly and everyone knows what they go through.
Hmm.
But there is another loci I need to mention, and the most infamous one, and the one that kind of hits hard for home for me. Again, given my sibling, and that is, the infamous individual known as Christian. I've mentioned him a few times on the show, or in passing, I should say. The point I want to bring up with him is that this, how do I put it? What's happened to this individual is horrifying. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. And honestly, it's, how do I put it? In the most like delicate and like not over the top way. The internet has destroyed this man's life.
Hmm.
That's the best way I can put it. But we're talking about a mentally incapable individual who has basically allowed himself to be destroyed by the internet, has never learned that the internet is not some be all end all place for him to command and control, that it is for everyone, and that he never really had any power to begin with.
It's like everybody's mentality with LA or California. Like, if you move to California, you're going to run into a celebrity every minute of every day. No, you're not. You are not going to
Yes.
run into any celebrity, and if you do, it's a one-time thing, and the next time you're going to run into one is going to be 3 years later. Because like
When they
California is, and because we have a Californian person in the chat, California is terrible. It is a terrible state. It is barely surviving, and it is very much a vegan, hippie, crazy working state, which is a very weird combination.
the best way to put it is it's self-imploding.
Oh yeah, it's lighting itself on fire with like with like oil that it made from its vegan food. I'm going, this is fine while sipping a Starbucks.
Yes, and that said, but that's the problem that an individual like Christian never understood. The internet is not some place where you can command something indefinitely or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
It is not some place that you can create whatever you want and not expect the world to ignore it. It's a place where everyone has access to, everyone has power in. And the big thing about it is you have to play by its rules. You have to be quote unquote courteous in a sense.
Yeah, I've truck fueled. Thank you, Bill. But like,
But go ahead.
the internet is a place where you have to realize you're not a god. You're not some almighty being. You are only in control of your little bubble. And that's a very tiny bubble considering. Like,
Yes.
unfortunately, even PewDiePie has to follow this rule. I do not like PewDiePie, by the way.
Well, we've kind of figured as much.
But like,
Excuse me.
he has gotten so damn popular that people like to think that he is. He's not. Like, just the simplest thing could destroy him.
Exactly. He came close with the now infamous heated. Okay, someone's just
His
having a
live
ball.
stream slip.
Yeah, the infamous quote unquote heated gamer moment.
You know, as soon as I saw that article, I immediately unsubscribed.
Wow.
And I instead subscribed to Jack Black. He's I have to say, he's a lot better. He even destroyed PewDiePie's Minecraft world. I love it.
But of course, but that's the point I'm getting at, is that there are rules and things you have to play by, and if you step onto another creator, you gotta expect to fight, but you also have to be smart about it. In the case of Chris, he never understood that. He assumed that the internet was someplace he could muscle his way into, as a kid would muscle into a new place, effectively.
Yeah,
And
like when
began
every kid wants to play with a firefighter truck, and then you want to play with it, but you don't want anyone else to touch it. That's not how things work. Putting it.
And because of that, he winds up trying to do his own thing. He creates the infamous Sonnet Shoe comics, which I've had the displeasure. I've had the displeasure of reading through another person. So I didn't read it, but you know what I mean. Someone else read it, records it, yada yada yada. I've had the displeasure of going through those comics, seeing it, and immediately just being like, this guy has problems, not just mental, but things that should have been taught that he shouldn't do.
Have you ever found a comic made by somebody absolutely terrible, and you only read like the first few lines and went nope and walked away?
I've had that multiple times, yes.
Yeah, same here.
But that's the thing about Chris. His comic slowly changed from bad to worse in a short period of time, and it's shocking to see what goes through this person's mind. And the reason why people defend him is because, he's autistic, he doesn't know what he's doing. But that's the thing. But that's his... What?
What? That's the excuse?
What?
That's why they're defending him?
Yes.
I'm autistic and I still own up to what I do.
That's the point. Kids like him should have been taught, or he should have been taught, that even though you have a mental handicap, that doesn't free reign to do whatever. Handicap. Okay. It doesn't.
Handicap.
It doesn't. Oh no! What have I done?
No, keep going. You're fine. You're fine.
But it doesn't give you free reign to run around the place doing whatever the hell you want. And this is a lesson that people have tried to hammer into Chris's incredibly thick skull, to the point where it never stuck. And it's unfortunate, because not only does it show in his comics just how deranged an individual he truly is, truly is, to the point where someone really should have stepped in and said, we need to talk, we need to give you help. But it only got worse as time went on. And because he never stopped, he did and said stupid things online, and it drew people in, to the point where this guy has been trolled to oblivion. You can't look up the guy's name without finding 1,000 different things he's been involved in. The macing a GameStop employee just because he wanted to, / felt threatened in quotations, or running a game store owner with his car because he got in the way.
What?
And this is just scraping, mind you, scraping the tip of the iceberg that is Chris's life. He has done far worse, and people have done far worse to him. And the truth of the matter is, and this is another example of a low cow who can't be redeemed. Chris is beyond redeeming at this point. There is no way of helping him out of this rut he's put himself into. And as horrible as it's going to sound, I don't pity him. He needs help. And that is the only thing I'm going to say.
He needs a fucking straitjacket is what he needs.
Agreed, but no, he's gotten more insane. He has lost his mind, both in the figurative sense and I believe the literal, to the point where he fully believes and is trying to convince everyone else in the world that a merge is going to happen between two dimensions, this one and another, in which cartoon characters and other people's creations and everything is going to be real. And that all these godly powers that he apparently has yes, he actually thinks he's a god in training, is going to happen.
He definitely
That's
needs
what
a straight jacket.
he needs help. And but like I said, he's been going down the slippery slope of madness for a while, and like I said, the internet has played a part. This is an instance of a locale who, even if he wanted the help, could never be helped.
I know, broski, I know.
Excuse my French, but yes, I'm sorry. If you look up anything, like I'm gonna even put this out there. You know of kiwi farms, yes,
Uh,
or heard of it?
like
Best
literal kiwi farms, or is that the name of a person?
website.
No.
It's a website that basically documents lolcows and dedicates to making fun of them slash documenting what they do or pranking them, etc., etc., etc. That's pretty much how it works. That website was started just to troll Chris, and it has evolved into this. Then you have a subset of people who have devoted themselves to what's the word? To oh god, it's in the back of my mind. To document everything that Chris has done in his life. To the point where they've created their own Wikipedia dedicated to everything this guy has done. And when you read some of the shit, or read some of the shit he's done, it makes you wonder, how is he not dead yet?
How has he not been sued?
No, here's another thing. Like I said, he created this comic book, right? And he believes he owns the right to the concept of Sonichu. In reality, we're talking about merging two distinct IPs into one, and it's not different enough to the point where Sega couldn't sue him. And like I said, I'm convinced the only reason why they haven't is because, is specifically because he's so beneath Sega that they're not interested in suing him. Slash, with all the other insane people who do their own Sonic OCs and every other crazy shit out there, he's just one in a million, I suppose.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't pity him. He uses people's pity to get what he wants. It's obvious. He's aware of what he does. He just acts the fool when he's called out. It's like I said, it's not surprising. And yeah, eventually.
That was a very long rant, by the way.
Yeah, the point is, we believe that redemption, it's possible.
It just depends on the person.
And how far your reputation has been dragged through the mud, and how willing you are to repair what is damaged. If Wings does make himself a better person, then good on him. He's one of the few who have succeeded. There is no hope for Phil. Phil is destined to die alone in this house. We know this. Chris is gone. There is no saving that. His mind is slipped. We're talking about someone who's, I believe, close to his 40s, actually. And he looks terrible. Like, not just in a sense of, oh, he's fat. I mean, like, you look into those horrible, miscolored eyes, and you know the light of humanity is gone.
Yeah.
All that's left is a puppet.
Redemption has its limits, yep.
Takes off. So much no, true. Exactly, that's the best way of putting it. For individual there is no saving them. The redemption is gone. There is no recovery. Hell, even the same can be said for like Yandere Dead. Even though I don't consider him a low count too much. I mean, he does cringy shit. As far as I know or can tell, he hasn't done much that makes me want to say, yeah, we should point and laugh at him. I mean, we're talking about a guy who created a video game in which the purpose is to be a stalker.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I don't know, like, if we should consider him a lolcow or not. Because of, like, you know what I mean, like,
yeah.
sorry, I'm just writing something. You know, just as far as he is concerned, I mean, he did. I kid you not, he actually created a video trying to explain why he shouldn't be considered a cow. But in doing so, um, he portrays all his critics and detractors as gremlins. I'm not kidding. He literally did that so they would sympathize with him
Mm.
specifically. But he fucked it up because they look more like goblins. So people just kind of mock the ever loving shit out of the guy. Even like there's even a small segment where like one of them is holding a piece of paper that says this is our target with a photo of some innocent girl to humiliate and shame, yada yada. But people just have kind of mocked him. So instead they just re-edited the text. So it just says um, and I quote, "Goblin Gremlin Simulator when." Just so annoying. I love it so much. But yeah, but yeah, that's basically my TED talks on locals. Oh man, you
Okay.
know for a fact someone's gonna take this and just run with it. You know it.
I mean, we keep saying that, but nobody ever does.
Give it some time. You never know. The future has
Yeah.
many great and horrifying secrets,
Yeah.
and then some. Excuse me. But yeah, so that covers that. So we're on to our last two things for
The
today.
actually happy things. Yay.
The things we like are actually
Yay.
reaching the. Uh,
We're almost 3
yeah,
hours.
yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm half expecting us to get our own Encyclopedia Dramatica article one day. Oh, that's gonna be so funny.
Our own what?
Like, have Encyclopedia Dramatica. You ever heard of it?
Oh. Oh. I think I got a
Yeah,
good idea what it is.
yeah. It's like Wikipedia, but it has like a very rude, mean slant to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wouldn't mind. You know, that's the point of the site, to mock and humiliate. I wouldn't be offended by it. In fact, I would welcome it.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Bill. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yes. All
Anyway,
right, so you want to go ahead with yours first?
you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. So, just to reiterate, in case people are new here, which I'd actually be kind of surprised, they're also welcome. Uh, every month or so, we do a monthly. Rev does Mobile Suit Gundam because that's his thing, and I do Pokemon. Well, technically, it's me and Bill that do Pokemon.
Yes.
Uh, I believe last month it was Agron's line, but like he had to have a balance. He's somebody there to keep him in check.
Yes.
This month, it's one Pokemon this time, and this is one that's like kind of, I would say iffy. I can't really wrap my head around it entirely.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Uh, the Pokemon of August is Gengar. The pictures are gonna cycle. You might get a little bit confused with the original Gengar and his shiny because it's just a very subtle color change. But yeah, this week it is Gengar. The thing about the Pokemon of the month is that we don't look at these and think of utility.
I'm
Like,
back.
hi, we don't look at these and think of like the best Pokemon for a fighting team or anything like that. We look at these Pokemon and think, what could their possible use be in the real world? I'm actually going to change the links in the description.
But it's Gengar, though.
Yeah.
What good would a ghost do, really?
Bill's solution is Haunted Mansion attractions.
Really?
Well, Gengars are very playful. They... Yeah, I know, Bill. It's a slideshow.
Yes, welcome. We've just introduced this new feature.
Uh, according to Bill, he shared the podcast link with another server that he has recently joined, and they're all interested.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But, Bill's solution is Haunted Mansion attraction, because Gengars are actually very playful. They like to pull pranks, but they're also very lonely. Uh, not only that, they like to pull tricks on people as pretending to be your shadow. Like, don't you just hate that, like, when you're walking down the street and you keep thinking you're hearing somebody behind you, and then you realize, oh, it's my own fucking feet.
Exactly. Like, you see something out of the corner.
Yeah.
It's just my headphone.
Yeah.
Well, then that's the thing. I see Gengars more as like some companion to someone.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
something you would like to a retirement home or something.
Like, in one of his descriptions, it says that, like, Gengar is known to visit children who are naughty. Like,
Okay.
either to pull a prank on them or to join them in being little pieces of shit. But other than that, believe it or not, Gengar is a very, very popular Pokemon. Like, every time there's a new game or there's a new anime, they always have references to that very famous starting animation for the original Pokemon games. Where I think it's a Nidoran or a Nidorina, it's one of those two is fighting Gengar. And he tries to hit, they miss, and then the other Pokemon jumps at him. Like, we all know this one. Like, it's even, yeah. I think for the most part, Gengars would be great for haunted theme attractions, because when it comes to those fucking Ghost Hunter shows, they oversaturate the area. Like, they turn something horrible into something profitable, into money. Like,
yes.
Believe it or not, there's a haunted area in Seattle. I forget where it was exactly. After one episode of a Ghost Hunter show that my dad liked before he realized it was all fake, people flooded that area and damaged the historical building because they want to find ghosts. I think, like, with Gengar, he can bring people to an area that they believe is haunted and spare the history, at the very least.
Right. Yeah, show that there is a ghost, but like
stop destroying this place, for the love of all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, boo, I'm a ghost. I died here 1,000 years. Fuck off.
Yeah. From my point of view, I think of those what are they? I keep wanting to say that it's the fair, but it's not. It's like those little mobile groups that have, like, rides with them and stuff like that. They go
Carnival.
Carnival, I guess. Yeah. Things like that would really benefit from, like, a Gengar and a mobile haunted mansion. Because, like, a lot of people that go to those areas, most people that go there make it their mission to ruin the life of all the people working there in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's destroying the ride, ruining the experience of, like, all the games, making a huge mess and making it very dangerous to be near the rides. They kind of ruin the fun. Like, they're literally that robot that hammers down the sign saying no fun.
Exactly.
But, like, give an attraction with a Gengar, and I don't think that person is going to have any... Yeah, Carnival, thank you. That person is probably not going to cause any problems, because they know there's now a Pokemon that is keeping an eye on them.
Exactly. Or, yeah, like I said, a Gengar, or better yet, you could have one in a orphanage, actually, if you think about it. Something to keep the kids happy. And
That's a terrifying idea, but okay.
But you know, I mean,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
relatively harmless, and they like to play pranks, and kids like to play pranks.
Like
Why not?
when Bill and I were talking about this, my immediate thought went to that there's a abandoned theme park in the middle of the desert in California. I
Hmm.
think it's California, but like you see it in a lot of movies in the '90s or something like that. It's a very old theme park. Everything there is run down, but sometimes people actually live out there, and it's abandoned. And some people say it's haunted. I could see a Gengar being there to keep the hype of, oh my gosh, ghosts could potentially be real. But then
That
again,
could work.
if Pokemon are in the real world, then we already know that ghosts are fucking real.
Exactly. Well, I guess it would be the thrill of being chased around by a ghost. That would work. And if you fluff up the myths and so on, I think
Mm-hmm.
people will be interested even further.
It's
I mean,
it's
for
especially
ghosts,
great for like a historical building that is trying not to be demolished for something useless. Because
yes.
we all know buildings like that. We want to keep it around because it is very much historical. It's important to keep that there, but people want to tear it down because they want something stupid, like a parking
Well,
lot.
Here's something funny. I actually lived back when I was much younger, back in Vertigo.
Mm.
I kid you not, I lived next to a literal haunted mansion. I shit you not. It was this. It was like right, literally like across my home or my apartment, and it was this. It was this massive pink mansion. Yes, the whole thing was a shade of like vibrant pink,
Blech.
and everything was overgrown. Like if I was leaving my house, right, I would go by, swing by, everything. There was like trees everywhere. Roots had just demolished the sidewalk that led into the house. We're talking about vines choking everything. The front door was coated in the shit. It gave this air of just something is here and I shouldn't be here. I was
Mm.
always terrified of it. I would always dare myself to take one foot inside, in through the open. By the way, there was nothing closed in it. Everything was open. No gates, no nothing. I
Oof.
always dared myself to take a step forward into that destroyed sidewalk
Yeah.
and just see how far I would go. And I was always terrified. The moment I would make like two, maybe three, I'd rush out and run home. And I swear to God, every night, whenever I would like go by, I would see lights in that mansion, no cars, no nothing, and there was always something in the window, and I
Yeah.
was always scared out of my wits.
Casa Rosa is Bill's question.
I'll look into it. Let me see.
But like, there is actually a haunted area around here that is having a problem with people visiting because ooh, ghosts. It's the baby graves.
No, that's not the place, Bill.
But there's a graveyard up on a hill near here that is like all the graves there are babies, they're infants, they're children who passed away like with the wagon trains coming from like East Coast to Oregon and stuff like that. Or
Okay.
settlers that first came here and died from like either disease or storms or lack of food and water or from unfortunately native tribes. And these baby graves are guarded by one man with a shotgun. But people ignore that and they continuously go to these graves and have no disregard for the fact that these are children. These are the graves of a child that passed away, and you're walking all over them. And it is haunted. Like, you will hear children giggling and all that. But, like, if there was a Gengar up there, who knows, like, how much better it would improve to keep these people from doing this to those graves.
Oh, it would work like a dream, really.
It would greatly improve.
Hmm.
Just, like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I have high respect for the dead. I don't care if ghosts are real or not. Like, if I'm in a graveyard, I'm going to stay on the path. I'm not going to walk anywhere near the stones. When we went to visit my grandpa, who served in World War II, I did not want to walk on the grass. I did not want to go over to the stone that he was at. But my dad, my grandma, and my aunt, they went over. So I actually had to go. And I was very uncomfortable around it. But
Go ahead.
we went to another place. I think it was more of like one of those plaques, like one of those tall walls with the names carved into them as a memorial. When I went up to those, there were kids everywhere, like putting sticky hands all over them, just not really caring.
Well, they're kids.
And
you can't really blame them.
it got worse with the adults. Let me just tell you that right now.
Okay, with the adults, then there's no fucking excuse.
Like, I know a lot of very interesting details about Seattle. Like, there is like a building or like a piece of art that was made by a guy who passed away, and he made this piece of art as his last hurrah because he loves the city, he loves the land, and people just don't care about the art, and they shit on it so much. Well, me, I look at this art and I love it. I respect it because this is this guy's dying wish. But like,
Yes.
whenever we have to do a ghost Pokemon, it's hard. It's hard to really place them.
Of course, because they're not really. They're odd to explain. That's the best way of putting it.
They're ghosts. They're effectively a dead person come back as a creature, but at the same time, they're not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's it's a little funny when you think about it. I mean, it's funny in terms of the Pokemon. It's like, okay, I'm going to die. I'm going to be death. Okay.
Like, the Pokemon that is a haunted stump is heartbreaking. Because that's a child that died lost in the woods. Oh, I don't think I fixed the Gundam thing. I don't remember if I did.
We'll check in a second. I'm sure it'll come up.
The problem is, like, once I click on it, the entire stream moves over to it.
Oh boy. All right. Then when we get there, we'll get. Yeah. Still, so overall, Gengar good for haunted places.
Haunted places, either to protect it or to, well, mostly to protect it, also to help those out with like haunted attractions. Bring in people. All in all, its best use is what it is: a haunting ghost.
Yes, or again, my suggestion: just leave an orphanage with kids. Have them play. At least make the place a little more homely before they have to.
Yeah. When we move over to Gundam, I'm gonna have to mute myself and step away real quick.
Okay.
But I will have I will have it all set up for you. Oh no, like I gotta run to the bathroom, but like I still want to continue with the Gundam.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's Gengar.
Gonna be awkward, but all right. So on to my stuff then. Let me go to the. All right. Hello. As per usual, like with the Pokemon of the month, we also have a Gundam of the month. And this time around, we have a bit of a. Well, I want to say it hasn't been done before, but we might as well mention it. Before anyone asks, no, this isn't a Zaku. This is a different mobile suit altogether. We are talking about the Hyzak, a mobile suit that was created post 1 year war. I want to say 4 years actually after the 1 year war. Or maybe longer, I can't remember the exact specifics. This mobile suit, despite looking like a Zeonic based mobile suit, isn't actually from Zeon. Instead, this thing is actually from the Earth Federation Titans. It was kind of their quote unquote grunt mobile suit, but in reality, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. This thing is a glorified upgrade to the Zaku. Overall, the same issues, the same problems that the Zaku had, the Hyzak also had. We're talking about limited vision due to the mono eye, limited weapons, inability to use more than one beam weapon at a time due to its energy generator, and we're talking as well about very light armor plating. During the Grips conflict, basically the time period where this mobile suit saw most deployment, it was being outshined and outmaneuvered by a rogue rebel faction, the the AU, resulting in more than a few of these machines being destroyed. As a result, well, you can pretty much guess where these machines were going. The problem is that the Titans tended to use these suits more so as a sign or symbol of Earthnoid or Earth Federation dominance, more of an intimidation tactic than an actual effective mobile suit. As a result, they wound up getting destroyed, lost, or in the worst case scenario, captured by the enemy and repurposed as an infiltration suit. I will, of course, talk about the high production history and everything now, as soon as I load up the wiki, which I didn't have. Its model number is the RMS-106 Hyzak, a mass production mobile suit. Design an upgraded version of that type. Its armaments include the following: the shoulder shield, mounted on the right shoulder. It is a simple defense used for enemy attacks. This was by the original MS-06 Zaku 2. Its name is short for Tomahawk. Thermal energy is relayed through the mobile suit's hand to heat the weapon's blade, allowing it to slice through armor or enemy warships or mobile suits. Although the Hyzak normally uses beam sabers, it has the use of this if it was using a beam rifle due to low output generation. The aforementioned beam saber, which again meant it could not use beam weapons due to its energy production in the generator. 3 tube missile pods, which are seen on either side of the Hyzak. Basically, it allowed it to fire missiles from its hips, quite effective. The BR-87A beam rifle, basically its version of the beam gun, effectively being, it was better than analog rifles, we'll say. Could also be upgraded with a shield, traditional type. The 12mm Zaku machine gun Kai, aka the custom Zaku machine gun, and a 135mm anti-ship rifle, which isn't seen here in any of the images. It was also outfitted with a balut system. Effectively, it's an atmospheric entry thing, we'll call it that. Its production history began its use was during Universal Century 0084 to 0087. It was basically the Titan's main, but like I said before, they were pretty much outclassed and outmaneuvered by the AU's Nemo units, resulting in a lot of them getting lost, re-upgraded, reused. Effectively, the Titans had no idea what they were doing with these suits. Effectively, to be an effective army, you have to have a baseline unit. These guys didn't have that. They just kept reusing whatever was repurposed. We've actually mentioned one of their other types before. Another mobile suit like it before. Basically an upgrade. The name escapes me at the moment. Its variants included the ARZ-106HZ Hyzak, the MSA Hyzak B, Hyzak D, the Hyzak Karnos Squad, Hyzak Cannon, Hyzak Custom, Hyzak South, Hobby Hyzak, Ewak Zak, and Ewak Vanguard, which we've actually covered on the show before a few times.
There's also one more. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, and the Hi Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
As I mentioned before, these things were basically just tree. That said, there was actually an aquatic version, the blue one that appears every so often. But outside of being water soluble, there is very little else that this Hyzak version could do. After the Titans fell out of power during the Grips conflict, by the year Universal Century 0093, so a good while actually, they were completely or almost completely phased out, and as such either being used for scrap or for private purposes. One of these variants was the RMS-116 Hobby Hyzak, a civilian use variant. let me see if I can find if there's any differences in that version, then maybe we'll show it, but I doubt it. No, it was basically except with the larger, more round shield. No spikes on the left arm, and was in blue, white, and red, and gold. It was basically a mock Gundam. Ugh, hate that. A few years later, by the time of Universal Century 006, the outdated Hyzek is still used by both the Sleeves and the Republic of Zeon, but horribly outdated with a few minor upgrades. So yes, this was the Hyzek. Overall, it was just an upgraded version of 2, which, well, we all know what the Zaku 2 was like. The only thing I think I can say with absolute certainty that made the Hyzek stand out was it was a very modular mobile suit. You could upgrade this thing with modern weaponry if you wanted. But at the end of the day, it's still a Zaku 2, so don't expect much survivability in this thing. Now, do I recommend anybody use this thing? Only if you have no other choice. And that's, again, that's saying something. In fact, let me put it to you. Let me put it best this way: if you have the option between a Gelgoog, a Zaku 2, and a Hyzak, you're off better with the Gelgoog, because that thing can take a beating, even a good 10 years later. So yes, any thoughts, questions?
I wasn't here for most of it.
Well, everything I said was just reiterated. It was a mobile suit that an army needed for a baseline unit, but it was never upgraded more than what it was.
Ah, so it was like my old computer.
Yeah, like, it was your old computer, but by the time a major war happened, it was so badly in need of upgrades, and just, they needed a better infantry suit, to the point where they just had to say, okay, fuck it, we'll go with it. And even then, it was because they never had a baseline mobile suit that they lost the war to begin with. The Titans, I should say. Among other things. But yeah, but overall, what do you think of it? Like, design and everything.
It looks very similar to a Zaku. Like, definitely has more of a general in appearance. Like, a 3-star general, etc. Definitely has that in appearance.
Yeah, I can see it too. Like, this is, if the 1 year war continued into the future, and 1 year, I could see this thing being designed specifically to be a commanding military type, which, again, given what the leadership of Zeon at the time had for mobile suits, it's not that far off. The only things I can say is that it had a better flight and everything, but beyond that, it's just a Zaku 2. Yeah. So yeah, that was the Hyzak, this month's mobile suit.
Hi, Mark.
I might cover another Titan's specific mobile suit, since we've covered this one already. Maybe. But yeah. Oh, the Mara side, that was the upgraded version of this thing. The red one we covered, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Basically, it's beefy upgraded cousin.
Oh, boy.
But yeah. Again, but that's saying something. Anyway, but yeah. So I guess that covers everything for this week's episode of Left for Random Talk. Am I missing anything?
No.
All right. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Please stay tuned for to the end for HH's usual spiel. This has been Rev, and I will see you all next week. Take care.
Alright, so now it's just me in the audience here. I do this at the end of every single episode. We've gotten to like 59 episodes. I'm still doing this because it's still needed. As I said earlier, I'm likely going to be changing that as soon as I can. I have literally no free time. Mondays is D&D. Wednesday is work. Thursday is podcast. Friday is more D&D. Saturday and Sunday, I don't really know what I'm doing anymore. But all the other days I haven't listed, it's either working on something for D&D, working on something for work, or it's me trying to keep my sanity. Because I have to let 2 little dogs outside every 3rd hour. But yeah, down in the description below on YouTube and down below on Twitch, there is a link and a creeper face that say donate to the show by clicking here. The link is not supposed to be there. I'm still a little annoyed with yeah. I'm still really annoyed with YouTube that is not understood that I don't want that there anymore. Because it keeps putting it back. Don't click on them. They don't work. I'm going to see about getting that working real soon. I am trying very hard. Keep in mind, I have to juggle so much stuff all at once. I have to clean the house. I have to run the stream itself. Like, I'm the one in control of the stream. I have to prepare encounters and maps and tokens for D&D. I have to remain in character for other D&D, and I also have to fix the calendar. Yeah, I also have to make sure that I am ready to go every Wednesday, and that I'm not exhausting myself, which is a little too late. But yeah, don't click on them. They don't work. Usually when we finish these streams, I will host my good friend Like an Alpha, or one of his friends Dark, or somebody else. None of them are streaming right now, so if you're still on Twitch, then I'm sorry, this is where we're ending. You're gonna have to go along with YouTube. And whatever streamer is going on right now that I will auto host, that's who will go and host, I guess. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next Thursday, hopefully. There might be another change in the schedule. There is a chance, not 100% sure here, that I will be streaming D&D later in the day after Left for Random Talk. We will have to see what one of my players' schedules is. I am now getting back into art streams. I am hopefully going to keep streaming D&D, not really sure. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.